Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you're chasing. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time. So prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Rise. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the summit. Visions brave and one false step lead the end. So higher and higher you're chasing. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. It is you fight among the dead beneath the dirt. Or do you know yet? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, do you know yet? We don't die. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Pick up your weapon and face it. Rise. It's deep in your blood, it's deep in your blood, go and take it. You can trace it. Rise, rise.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another SRG Week 9 matchup. We've got Division 5 tonight, and there are big implications for this game. The winner of this match will be taking first place, almost 100%, with the certainty that we're going to go forward saying that this match will genuinely decide the first place in the standings. Both teams are undefeated coming into this matchup, and somebody's O has got to go, as you know the saying goes. That means we're going to see something come out, although my clients actually appeared broken. I'm not sure what's happened. Maybe I got kicked? Oh, I think we all got kicked because the lobby was created for too long. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, try rejoining, Reed. Just a small technical difficulty here. For people who don't know, the way that these servers end up working, if you have them open for, I think it's 30 minutes or an hour, they'll actually close on you. So one of the players must have been in really early, and it actually activated the lobby, which means because it didn't start up in the hour or the half hour, it actually shuts down. It kicked everybody, so we're all going to have to get back in. And I imagine this is going to take a couple of minutes because you can't actually invite your teammates, so everyone's going to have to use the hard code to get back in. In the meantime, we can talk more about the implications of this matchup. So, for those of you who don't know the team names, actually, I don't really know the team names. Yeah, so we have the Skive Bad Boys going up against AltForOp. AltForOp currently 7-0, and Skive Bad Boys are 8-0. Obviously, AltForOp, I believe, has a matchup against the current fourth place team to round out the standings. Not only the top 6 teams are going to make playoffs, and right now, I believe the only 5 who have their spot pretty much secured are obviously the 2 in this matchup today, Skivy's Bad Boys and AltForOp, the undefeated teams. The 6-2 Lucky Vikings, the 6-1 AI Logic, and then way down in the standings, I believe still actually maybe even fighting for a playoff spot, is the 4-4 Kraken Protecting Allies. So lots going on in Division 5. Some people, may say it's not the best of quality matches, but the players are at least able to consistently put out performances at the top of the standings, and it's kind of shown by clear divides and tiers, right? We have the no loss teams, the 2 loss teams, then 4 loss teams. Something that would happen in a traditional league, which at least means they're competitive with each other. I think we have everybody here. They just have to get into order. And yep, only one more person looking to come in. Now, as I give you down the rundowns, we have the Skivy's Bad Boys. In the top lane, it's going to be Smiley 97, Tiffany LFHU, a bunch of O's, Derek Shepard, and a name which I'm going to refuse to pronounce and probably refer to as the champion they decide to lock in. And then we have MK 10, who'll probably just be getting one MK in the top lane. That's for AltForOp. In the jungle, we have Char 1017. Huge fan of 1017. Obviously, that's a shout out to Gucci Mane, Brick Squad. For those of you who don't know about Gucci Mane, you should definitely listen to his music. One of the best trap rappers out of Atlanta in the United States. Hidden in the Boo, I believe that's to be Bush, play on his name, playing mid lane. Killed Secure in the ADC role, and Dreadpool in the support role. Finally, Pick and Ban does get underway. Glad y'all stayed with us through quick little time there. Kaisa gets banned first out. Very strong ADC, lots of all-in potential. And even scales well, obviously, with her evolutions. As this last ban's come down to the wire, kind of odd to see bans take that long. Normally this is something you kind of have prepared and thought out. Aphelios is the ban, in my opinion, the best ADC on the patch. Although Senna and Misfortune kind of complete a trio along with him. So unless you ban out all 3 or pick one and ban 2, you're normally not in the best of places. Victor must be a comfort ban. The Lucian is a decent ban because he's such a good lane bully. Kled, definitely a good ban because Kled wins nearly every matchup in the top lane. Sans Fiora. Fiora does kind of dumpster. As this last ban's also coming in for a while, I don't know if AltForOp is actually very prepared for this draft. Maybe just not the bans. They might be more prepared for the picks. We'll see. Did you take Nautilus off the table? That signals that they're afraid of a more standstill type of ADC who's looking to kind of turn to that auto attack turret. We'll see what does get locked in. It's actually Annie. That Annie, I believe, is Sejuani. Yeah, so that's a placeholder. And it's good to know that right off the bat. So that's actually going to be a Sejuani, probably in the jungle. Sejuani top got gutted by Riot on that patch where they nerfed Sejuani. It echoes the immediate answer, which signals that it might actually be a Jungle Echo. I don't really know what these players play, but Jungle Echo is still a strong pick, the main one. Also, though, Mid Echo and Top Echo can't be forgotten. And Zach obviously a flex actually with the Echo, so they can choose to put that top or jungle in both of those positions. I think Echo top is a little bit worse than it used to be, But still, being able to swap it with the Zac is at least a nice bit of know-how. Not sure the Anivia would make sense with the Sejuani. It's definitely good CC follow-up and good scaling. Oh, so Anivia would actually be Rakan. Yeah, so Anivia is Rakan on their side. Lots of placeholders. That's what happens when you have a whole bunch of level 45 people. I don't know if they're toxic or if these are just not their main accounts. I'm not sure which way that goes. But that's why there's so many placeholders. So that means we actually have right now a Sejuani and Rakan. And Vladimir coming in. Vladimir obviously can go mid or top. I believe he's a better top laner, but mid lane's a little bit safer for him, ironically. Definitely not the safest lane for every top laner. That's actually why you don't see them taken there. As we're about to see the first draft phase rounded off here by AltForOp. This should be an answer. I think Ashe is really strong right now. It's a really good pick. Oh, wow. That's actually also a placeholder. So that pick is actually Tristana. Okay, Tristana not as good as Ashe. Would have much rather actually had Ashe. But Tristana also not the worst. She's actually capable of matching the type of scaling that I think Derek Shepard is kind of known for putting out. But just misses a lot of the things other ADCs have in this meta, which is the ability to use Bork and other items. Xayah, though, banned away. So they're going to be looking to ban out Tristana counters here. I'm not sure if Xayah is one. Because Tristana Jump does beat the root pretty reliably. It beats just about every CC pretty reliably. The Morgana ban makes sense. You definitely don't want to layer that type of protection into this type of comp where the CC is going to be so valuable. I actually really like that ban. It makes a lot of sense coming out of Basbois. Now this is, again, just a really long ban phase here from AltForOp. They seem pretty unsure. And Misfortune, yeah, obviously the statistical highest ADC in the game when it comes to win rate. It really only leaves up Senna, but if they don't play Senna, then they've effectively gotten rid of both of the best ADCs. And, I mean, Ashe, I guess, actually now kind of bumps up in priority. Fiora also banned away. It's kind of interesting to see Kled and Fiora ban. At least from the same side. And that's going to be an Akali. It's a last-second lock-in again. And that's actually... It's not an Akali. It's a Thresh. It's the 4th placeholder of the match. Yeah, so it's going to be Thresh, Ashe in the bot lane. Thresh doesn't... Or not Ashe, Thresh, Tristana. So that actually doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because Tristana's kind of abilities to jump around don't synergize too well with the Lantern's safety. It's actually more used as an aggressive tool, which would signal that you expect to get ahead on the Tristana. But into something, I mean, now like Sivir, which is actually the lock-in I was kind of imagining they might go for, it's going to be a lot rougher for them. I mean, Sivir Rakan, I'm not sure how it actually does into the, so rough to remember when they pick so many different ones, the Tristana Thresh. Yeah, because I'm thinking, doesn't Rakan get countered by the Flay from Thresh? And that Soraka down there is actually a Gnosis, rounding it off to at least half placeholder picks. Yeah, really glad they're going to go back and repick these teams, because I'm going to be honest, I don't know how any of you watching could keep track of what those picks actually are with the way the portraits look, and the fact that they actually even almost fit the roles. Even one of these people has the Season 1 cup and is only level 85. That's really odd. Weird. It means they've been playing since Season 1. They probably just didn't play much after. So they should get through this ban phase pretty quickly, but one thing that I have noticed is that it's really a skill. You'll see in higher elo, oddly enough, to get through the ban and pick phase fast when you know it's already up. Although MK definitely knows what he's doing. If it goes under that 20-second mark, that's when you can start scolding them. It was a close one. Yep, just as expected, Basbois slacking 3, 4, 5 seconds late. This is rough. That was 8 seconds over the allotted time that I would have given them to make that ban properly, and just real fast again. So now this is making me think AltForOp has got the advantage here. purely in the speed of their pick and ban phase. Or at least MK is going to have the advantage in the top lane against Smiley. Um, but that's purely arbitrary, right? I just have really little to talk about until I can kind of see where the matchups might lie. Yeah, so it's actually going to be Shen into Gnosis. Now, Shen beats Gnosis up if he takes Conqueror, rushes Bramble Vest, and then Magic Resist items. And that's just because of the way that Shen is going to be able to out-heal him. I mean, he can literally go Spirit Visage into Gnosis, and he'll actually beat him as long as he just, runs away from the level 6 and re-engages whenever his ultimate is down. It's really easy matchup for Smiley in all regards. The issue that's probably going to come up is that Gnosis players tend to be really good at playing around matchups and kind of getting their scaling in regardless and knowing their limits much better than other players know their limits against Gnosis. And it really just takes Smiley one overconfident engage under an ultimate to lose to the healing that Gnosis brings inherently. But that's what Bramble Vest would be for. And that's only if he builds proper too, right? We probably won't see the Conqueror Shen build, I don't think. Sejuani into Zac is a really bad matchup for Zac, and that's just because Sejuani is able to headbutt Zac out of his slingshot and actually stop it from dealing any CC, which is just absolutely devastating for the champion. On top of the fact that she has reliable CC, which can actually land on top of the Zac when he lands, which is, obviously a second means if the headbutt is down. And that ultimate is just able to gank lanes. She does everything Zac wants to do and seems to do it better. It's just there are picks where Zac is a better answer than Sejuani is, but there's very few times that you want to have Zac into Sejuani and not Sejuani into Zac. That's obviously why it was a counter pick. The Echo does end up mid lane into the Vladimir. And that means both mid laners are really just going to be looking to shove. Because I actually don't think Echo can all in too reliably on the Vladimir. The thing is, Vladimir can't answer back on the Echo if he does end up building what I would call like proper items. So we'll see how that kind of develops, and if Hidden in the Boo is going to be able to apply pressure onto Triple O. But I'm not exactly sure if that matchup has a champion favor, insofar as it's more a skill matchup and how these players each use their abilities and their longer cooldowns properly. And then in the bot lane, we've already talked about it. Thresh is going to probably dumpster the Rakan and Sivir. The only thing that really works in their favor is that Sivir's spell shield does beat out the Thresh hook. If it lands, she's just going to disconnect it if she can press the E on time. The thing is, though, a lot of Sivers, especially ones who aren't too experienced on the champion, are going to actually miss that spell shield. And if you miss it, it's pretty devastating because that's going to allow the other team to either wait it out or, purposefully throw an ability in, which isn't meant to be spell shielded to spell shield is that way the good abilities can land. In this bot lane, though, there isn't really an ability you don't want to land. You do want the Eon Tristana to hit. You do want the Flay. You do want the hook. That's a bit of a saving grace for Dark Shepherd. He's not really a bad spell shield target. But again, we'll have to see how he plays it because I've seen plenty of people just, play it poorly. In the same way that Rakan can wait for this Flay or hook to be down on Thresh and then make really reliable W engages on him. The thing is that Tristana's pretty much always going to get out regardless. Yeah, no, as much as I wasn't a big fan of the Tristana pick, it actually seems to be the right answer here, and it actually wasn't an answer, which makes it even sadder, right? This is a lane they've kind of picked into it. Sivir's raw damage, though, will outmatch Tristana well into the mid-game, but eventually Tristana will gain levels and gain range, and she'll build crit items, and she'll actually end up being able to 1v1 the Sivir, even if Sivir might be able to beat her in like a raw damage output kind of scenario. Tristana would even be able to, clean up a fight a lot easier because of her resets. And then outside of that, we can talk about where the junglers will probably want to spend their time. And the answer to that is honestly nowhere. Sejuani's going to have a really hard time ganking the bot lane because of the nature of Tristana Thresh. But it is possible, actually, for her to catch out Tristana, given that she loses a summoner spell somewhere in the lane. The only place where it actually might be easy for her to kill is Susan, the Gnosis, in the top lane. And that's just really the only spot where I can see Sejuani making a reliable impact, because onto Echo, Gangster is so tough unless he ends up, shoved up or caught in a rotation. But we have seen plenty of Sejuani's be able to solo out ADCs, so you never know. If he can catch Killed Secure in the W animation, it's really possible that they stop the Tristana, and it's kind of on Dreadpool then on the Thresh to have already walked away to get the Lantern down so that way Killed Secure can get away. Outside of that, Zac can gank the bot lane. It's just not the most reliable for him. Yeah, so it's just not the most reliable for him because Sivir Spell Shield obviously first, but second, Rakan has so much engage and disengage and kind of slipperiness is the way to call it. Um, you're just not in a good position. If she has her ultimate too, the movement speed's going to be enough that you just can't land Q, you'd have to go for the skill shot version. And the skill shot's very hard to land, especially on a high movement target. And you'll never be able to catch them for the auto attack for the, really reliable Q into a minion and auto. So I really can't think that Scar 1017 is going to be able to make that work. Yeah, so I mean, even in the mid lane, obviously Vladimir. I don't think I have to talk at length about that one. We've all played against a Vladimir and seen him pull over and over and over. You can track the summoner spells and you can track the pull. It's about a 17-second cooldown at level 1, and he's not going to max the pull most of the time. But, yeah, you're not really going to hear me give it a whole lot of flack because it is still pull. It's still a great ability, and as long as the Vladimir plays around it properly, it's going to be used effectively, and he's going to avoid all the ganks. And this is coming from someone I've played a lot of Vladimir, unfortunately. I actually really don't like the champion anymore. I think it's kind of a boring design. But if you play it properly, you get really high damage numbers, and you're pretty unkillable in the lane. And with Phase Rush, yeah, it's really going to be tough. So that means Zach is going to spend nearly all of his time top lane as well. So we actually expect a lot of jungle pressure top. We expect bot lane starts from both of them. And we can expect the junglers to spend the majority of their time getting vision secured in that top lane. Now, for those of you who don't know or haven't kind of been made aware, there's a new sort of meta that's developing. And the strategy is that you go for 2 Rift Heralds early in lieu of, or instead of the dragons, right? So now if you can't get the first 2 dragons, you grab them if it's free and available, right? So like, you kill both bot laners and your junglers there. Go take the dragon. It's probably better than the plates that's going to do about half an assist worth of gold each. But outside of that, you'd rather get the Rift Herald. Sorry, I'm still loading in. But yeah, outside of that, you'd just rather get the Rift Heralds because you're going to be able to actually get objectives and get multiple platings, which will equal about 1.5 kills worth of gold if you're getting 3 of them, or 2 kills if you get 4. It's a whole lot of free gold when you get the Heralds compared to the dragons. And then you snowball, and what happens later is because you've got the gold advantage now and the item advantage, you stack actually the dragons and you get 4 of the same effect, which in the case of any of them is just better than 1. And yeah, I'm actually loaded in now. You can count me in. Yeah, so it does look like we didn't actually get Conqueror Shen, which kind of saddens me because it means that Shen is actually going to lose this matchup. And it saddens me because I think Shen is an overtuned champion. You'll hear me talk a lot about how long that Riot has been buffing or nerfing champions for, because it's actually normally a signal of who is, what we would call hidden OP, someone who's waiting for the right build. Shen is one of these champions who's been non-stop buffed for 2 years now. And what it really means is that Shen's in a position to carry and kind of obscure items that other tanks aren't allowed to. And we can even see things like Death's Dance on him with this kind of build now. And I think Shen is just in such an overtuned position that with Conqueror and with so much healing stacked on top of him, he actually does win most top lane 1v1s. And he does it on a manaless champion. I mean, I can talk at length about how manaless champions are kind of broken. We do see lots of pings from AltForOp. I'm not really sure why. You think comms would be sufficient, but they're probably just repeating that there's a word there. Maybe it makes them feel better. I'm not really sure. Never understood the pinging when you're in comms. Susan is still saying in the top. So yeah, this is kind of what I called out in the pregame, right? Both junglers are going to start on their bot sides, and they're going to work their way up the top side. Because it's gold, they actually may just do the pathing proper, or they may not go for the gank at all and just go for the pathing. As you can tell, Sejuani's choosing or electing, whichever way you'd like to say it, to go full clear. It's actually a really efficient route, because you take your Krugs here, and obviously you have to walk the same distance that you walk 2 Krugs a second time. So you'd much rather just never have to walk over the same route twice. And if you were to play Sejuani and not get the Krugs, you'd actually get right up into the scuttle and get time to get vision on like Raptors or the red buff, if the enemy jungler's there. But hey, that's not the game we get. We get full clear Sejuani, and we get a Zac who's on his 3rd camp by the time she's still finishing her 2nd. Oh, Echo actually looking to make plays in this mid lane. Now this is exciting. This is something that's going to tell us that Hidden actually might be a player who wants Faker instead of just idolizes him. That's a rarity, right? As you can tell, he's trading out early in a lane where he has the advantage to trade out early before he loses that. And the level 6 is going to allow him to stay safe and still poke, but he would much rather use that level 6 to actually get a kill rather than to just avoid a death. And I think that's true on nearly every champion in the game, right? So yeah, as you can tell here, Zach is actually going to finish his red buff before Sejuani makes through her wolves, and that will allow him to go up into top lane with level 3 with double buff. And yeah, the camera even pans over there for me because it's nice. Oh, but the ward there shouldn't stop him. He can go right for the scuttle too. Oh, Rakan actually does get the W on Tristana, but she uses the rocket jump right out, and that's the kind of anti-synergy that's going to exist here. At least I'm still curious why you pick these champions and these other ones. Tristana's known for this. I don't know. It's probably an air of comfortability. What do I know? Sejuani now does spot Zach in the river. She is going to get to the scuttle. Does have smite up. Zach actually doesn't, so he must have got the scuttle. I don't know. Oh, he lost it because he didn't have smite. Yeah, that's on him. Can't smite early, buddy. So Sejuani's greedy pathing actually works out for her. And she does secure the scuttle just because she kept her smite up. Look at that. A non-selfish decision saves the day. So now we do see there is an effort from Susan to walk into Sejuani's jungle right now. She's actually near full health. You can't really do anything. That ward is actually just going to be put there to watch the entrance. I think that's a poor ward compared to a river ward, because a river ward would give you vision if she's obviously walking from the river at the same time. But the pixel brush is probably what's motivating that decision. The issue is pixel brush ward should run out soon. Look at Shen though, making the play. Obviously wins that trade, and Vladimir goes so low in the mid lane that he's either going to have to back or die soon. Although it actually looks like Echo is making the decision to back. Probably going to use that teleport to apply even more pressure onto his opponent. Really smart from Hidden in the blue, although Vladimir, obviously, so much healing, going to be able to at least come back in the slightest into this matchup. And that's what's going to keep him in the mid lane long enough. He's actually been laning poke. Shen 2 in the top lane is now poked down the Susan to half health. Sejuani makes a plan of the Echo. One more auto will land the stun, but Zach's there to disengage that. And we heard pings come down. The only place those pings could have been going there was Dragon. So, I mean, someone's looking to take it now. I don't actually see the pings. We just hear them. So we do know someone pinged an objective, and I think it's actually probably the red side. Because AltForOp is the team that's playing around it. We can see Echo teleport right back. Throws out the Q. Vladimir is going to be getting a big heal right now. We'll go back up to 150 HP. Echo throws down the parallel convergence, and that's going to disengage the fight. Now Zach is wandering here, just trying to get a Scuttle Crab, I think, instead of the Dragon, actually. And that's the play right there. So that's actually, I would call it a skill check. And it means that Sivir, the Thresh is now going to know that Sivir can reliably use the E to stop the hook. And he's actually going to be dissuaded from just throwing it at her, even if it can hit. And now they know they're not on Dragon, so Sejuani is allowed to go back into her clear. If we look at the junglers, it's actually a one camp advantage in Sejuani's favor. And I think that a lot of that just comes down to the first scuttle on top side, and the fact that she was able to get the greedy full clear. And obviously she even got a back off in time where Zach hasn't yet, so she'll end up firmly in the lead in this jungle. And that's even reflected in her level lead as well, right? In the bot side, Sivir has actually decided to go 2 Doran's Blades. And I think because of that, she's out damaging and out surviving the Tristana. Even low mana. Although, ooh, Echo does go a little too low there. I think this is the part of the lane where it's just not safe for the Echo to continue fighting with Vladimir. He's going to need a full item or something at least. Because all he has right now is the, what is that? A Dark Seal and a Doran's Ring. And with the Corrupting Potion. I mean, it's a tried and true triple combo, but it's not going to do you well in this lane. You need healing reduction, or you need raw damage. Probably raw damage, though. It's normally my suggestion in games like this. You don't want to actually pretend like he knows what to do with his champion. So now the Dragon pressure does kind of mount up on the teams here, but what should be being felt is actually the Rift Herald pressure, because the Rift Herald is about to spawn, and getting the Dragon before now would have definitely been a little unsafe. Zach makes his way down towards the bot lane. He's just waiting at the tower's length. I think he wants them to make an engage, or he might want to catch out a counter engage, but Sejuani's on the other side of the map just clearing. And this is now kind of spiraled and snowballed her lead. She has now 2 camp advantage on the Zach, and it's only going to get bigger as she goes to take her red and then her Raptors. Here comes Zach with the slingshot. We'll see if he makes something out of this, and it's just a flash from the Civ, but it's not a just as he does land the Q onto the Rakan. That would be a little bit of damage landed, but it's not too much because Rakan's slipperiness is getting out. As Vladimir takes a big trade in the mid lane, doesn't actually have the mana or the cooldown, sorry, to land the Q there, and that's why Echo chose the right moment. As Shen is also beating down on the Susan in top side, but there's the ultimate. That's going to signal a fight in the top side. Is in the bot side. Thresh finally caught out, and he's going to go down. I think that's first blood going over to Sivir. Now their attention gets turned over to the Tristana, who gets smited, knocks away the Sejuani, but a spell shield from Sivir's going to keep her in the fight. She has the mana, but the Ignite's down. I think that's going to spell the Emperor Tristana, who uses the heal to keep herself alive, and the movement speed boost is going to create the distance that she needs. Kill secure should be getting out of here. Sejuani, though, goes forward with the W, and the auto attack will secure the kill. The assist still goes over to Sivir and Rakan. They'll be happy about that. And this should signal a dragon take, but it looks like they're instead going to go back into the jungle. I think that those health bars are happy enough, and with the enemy jungler, throwing away the ADC dead, that's definitely a moment you should get more than just that. But still, 2 kills go over, not too shabby for the bad boys. Now, if we do kind of look at the updated state of the map, the only thing that has really changed in the posture for AltForOp is that the bot laners have obviously been forced under their tower, but they've been there all game, and the jungler is actually farming, which is, I think, in my opinion, the best change that could have happened after that. He's down 3 camps right now, so Sejuani's getting off her second back compared to his one, and it's only going to get worse for him unless he decides to clear out the jungle. So the fact that he's in there is at least going to keep him within the level advantage, because he's been down a level for about 4 minutes now, and that's really bad to be down a level this early in the jungle here. We do see Echo make the play here into Vladimir. Vladimir will get a little bit of healing, but the phase rush procs, and it does nothing. He has to heal off the minion too, and that does not feel good as a Vlad. Every time he heals, Echo goes forward, throws out a Q, tries to make some magic happen here. Here comes Ember, so it's going to force the ultimate back. Echo does not get the damage, instead lands the 3-man parallel convergence. The Rakan dives forward, but that increased time that it takes for it to activate is kind of felt there. There's a Q from the Echo, going to be able to slow everybody again. Flashes away this time. Thought he was going to be able to get away without it because he hit the 3-man parallel convergence. But the flash is going to satisfy their appetite, and that's not going to be back up until about 15 minutes. Hopefully, the bad boys are tracking these flashes. Really important to track flashes on the likes of Echo. And now it looks like they might be looking to make an advantage out of this, but instead they go right back to farming. I think that this actually could have been the Rift Tower moment. I mean, you have the Vision, you have the mid laner dead, caught out. Or sorry, not dead, but he's, been forced to flash him back. Yeah, that's a pretty free Rift Herald. It's kind of odd to see these teams not playing for objectives. But at least the junglers have both bought sweeping lens. That's a plus. Shen's back fighting in the top lane. He never really stops this. It is how the champion is supposed to play, but it's interesting to see a Grass Shen actually having so much success into the Gnostis. I was pretty confident the Gnostis would actually win this, so I guess I was wrong. I mean, he is up 20 CS, so I guess he is winning, right? It looks like the junglers, though, are feeling the pressure to come topside. Sejuani does use the Q over the wall. Zach is just left, so the counter gank is not in the way. The recall is timed, though, and I feel like that this is an inopportune recall. No, she does a push-up. Maybe make a play on Herald. No, see, that would have been bad. I'll be honest. No vision control there. If she had the vision we have, she would know to stay. There's going to be a smite, though. W goes forward. She's looking to get the stun to Echo. Echo parallel convergence will land well on the top side. Gnosis fighting onto the Shen. Does land a winning combo again, the Shen. And even though he wins the trades, he's down 30 CS now. And it only seems to get worse for Smiley97 now. I did say that MK was probably going to end up being the better laner because he acted faster in the pick and ban phase. And I guess that my arbitrary decision to favor him is kind of shining through in the CS league. But Shen can win this matchup. He just has to fight more reliably. Although we do see it's a full fight in the bot lane. Charms come down even though the Sejuani all misses and she's able to knock the Thresh back up. He's forced to flash back into the Tristana who takes nearly no damage in the engagement. And here comes Echo now. He wants the 1v3, but he definitely doesn't actually mean that. As he gets full damage onto Tiffany, the Shen ultimate does get channeled. That's going to force the ultimate out of Echo as he goes all the way back. Now Zach's into the fight. He's going to queue them both together. Sejuani's the target. She's the first to go down. Shen gets the taunt onto Echo. He has to use the movement speed and a heal, but it's not going to be quick enough to get him out. And here comes Susan. But it's a 1v4 and Gnosis. You cannot pay the price of admission to fight. Waste the teleport to just run right back to lane. So all in all, I think it's a 1-for-1 actually. Pretty big engagement there, and the gold is dead even at 18,000 apiece. Definitely nothing to balk at right now. You just literally, there's like probably 100 gold difference, and you see it actually just swap and trade right there by the 1,000 metric. It's that close in the gold lead that the teams, it's indecipherable. Now, we do see a reset here, and it's actually Gnosis in the mid lane. I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe Echo has decided that because he can't get the solo kill reliably on the Vladimir, he would rather be playing into the 63 CS Shen. But that's not the right decision because they're both AP champions, so if either did decide to build any magic for this, which they haven't yet, it actually wouldn't benefit you. But Shen is looking to build armor here. I do understand that the... Oh, it looks like Q does come out. It actually just gets dodged. Sorry, I thought there might be a play there from Dreadpool, but he just looks to be taking the brunt of the abuse right now as he gets brought down to half health by the minions and bot lane alike. But yeah, I don't understand Sunfire Cape. Armor into a triple AP team doesn't really make sense as your first buy when your laner is AP. I would have maybe understood a Bramble Vest for the healing, but even then, I mean, even though I said it, I would have been wrong to say it, right? Because, like, at the end of the day, you'd probably always just be better off rushing a magic resist item. Mercury Treads even. They're just better options. It looks like Sejuani, though, does play forward here. W does miss, and that means Dreadpool becomes the target. He's going to get stunned up, and he's running into the tower there to actually buy time for his team to get out. As Smiley takes a fight up in the top side, and Gnosis still hasn't popped the ultimate yet. And that means there's a big chunk of healing waiting, and he's still winning the fight without it. That's the benefit of the gold lead, which he has finally been able to find the items to exploit. And here comes Rakan, going to charm up one, charm up two, and knock them both up. And with that, it's all the Rakan, making the engage work and the play too easy for his team. Although with the slither of HP, the teleport channeled from Echo, this might spell disaster as Zach comes back alive from great plays from Hidden in the Boo, but he's forced to ultimate back out. Would have been one auto attack away from death there. Could have been absolutely devastating for the mid laner. I mean, yeah, Gnosis does some AD damage, but, like, he's an AP champion. He gains QAP scaling, and, like, his auras are all AP, and... I mean, like, you build Bramble to stop his healing, and maybe you build Ninja Tabbies to stop the basic attacks, but I'm really confident that that's, like, a pretty full AP champion who deals 80-90% AP damage. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't actually play Gnosis. I do enjoy playing League of Legends, so I would never play like a Gnosis or a Tryndamere or one of those champions where you actively don't play the game. Although in this case, I mean, it's working out for him. Obviously at 50 CS now, pushing on a Flame Horizon. This is Vladimir's chance. It's going to get big healing, and Echo knows it, so it's a smart flash. But he might have actually been able to make it engage work there, and I'm not sure if the flash actually was warranted because there wasn't much more damage Vladimir could have done post his ultimate. And we did check back in on the junglers too. Sejuani keeping this level lead from about the 4-minute mark onward, and it's just looking worse and worse. And now the camp lead is looking somewhere at about like 10 camps for the Zach, which is really rough. I guess it's more like 8. But it's still quite a few camps that Zach is behind compared to the Sejuani. And I mean, it's just a good effort by her. Obviously, her numbers are looking a lot better too. And she has 100% kill participation right now, something you very rarely see out of junglers. At least going into the 16-minute mark. Obviously, though, the Dragon and Rift Herald still alive are kind of unacceptable for both of the teams. They should have been making plays on these a long time ago. And because of it, the Rift Herald's actually still going to be alive. I really think you should just be prioritizing getting both Rift Heralds and cracking open these bases. I mean, you just look at they didn't get many platings because of it. Although that's a really good Rakan W or a really bad Tristan to jump away, and it's going to cost her life in this case. Thresh does land the hook onto the wrong target though. As Rakan gets away, Sivir takes a tower shot to land an auto attack, and they take the ADC down for her 3rd death now. If we were to combine this bot lane's death, they're sitting at 5. That's 5 out of 6 for the team. It's an absolute travesty for the bot lane, and maybe it shows why there were so many bans given to Derek Shepard in the pick and ban phase for AltForOp, and it obviously has shown that Sivir is still going to remain a threat. The highest CS, not on the Gnosis, or compared to the Gnosis. Although we do see under the tower, Sejuani picks up a kill. Feels like that could have went over to the Sivir. Echo goes all the way in, while on the top side, Shen's trying to channel out a TP here, gets so low and smacked by MK. and that's going to be the first solo kill going over in the top lane as well. Shen is trying to use his Stand United to get into a fight, and it looks like his teammate doesn't even die because of it, so the Stand United would have been rather greedy or used to get a kill there, and instead ends in his death. We see the Vladimir get chunked out too before this fight even begins. That feels really bad. Even though the Thresh is on a sliver of health bar, the defense of this bot turret might be successful for AltForOp as, yeah, the backs get channeled and they're getting channeled on top of that ward. And all in all, the Susan takes the top tower. AltForOp is in the driver's seat right now. I mean, even though they're down gold because of the amount of kills that they're down, I feel like that this is one of the shining examples of them actually winning a fight across the board. Yeah, that's really good for them. As much as they needed something to come back into this game, or even if they didn't, this will help. Now, the ADCs are all level 9 plus, so when they back, like Sivir right now, they should be getting a Farsight, and yep, they do. Makes me really happy to see a Farsight. I'm not sure if Sivir got a Farsight. Vladimir did. All Sivir got her Farsight at level 9. We're really proud of her. Echo makes the engage onto Vladimir, though, and runs right away after landing the third stack, just trying to get as much damage as he can onto him. And here comes the Gnosis now. The first Q lands, and that's going to be devastating damage as 0-3 is forced to flash away. The ultimate use from Echo there, I think he could have just used the second part of his E to the minion. But with that, it's actually AltForOp taking the first dragon of the game, and despite all the pressure that was put on Matt by Tip, he's done him near nothing in the way of objectives or towers. And that's really sad, as AltForOp is commanding the macro objective lead. Although Echo with no ultimate is just dead here. And that's going to be 0-3 picking up a kill. You cannot dive him when you've already wasted the ultimate. That's why I was saying you'd much rather use that E to snap your minion, because with the ultimate down, that air of safety's gone now. The team is actually dealing with this pretty much across the board because Zach's thinking is passive. And this is something we didn't really talk about in the drafting phase, but it's a skill which must be tracked the same way Zach passive must be. And if you don't have it up, you have to play like Zach would more passively. Really sad to play from hitting in the boo. Pepper lands one auto attack, 2 from outside range, and that's actually going to feel fantastic. And when the Thresh hook misses, that should signal something of an engage, but without a wave there, I understand not wanting to play forward. If Tristana and Thresh do back here, it should signal that the tower falls with them. I don't even think that Zach alone can stop this. We'll see. Maybe red buff Zach can pull this off. Susan now in the bot lane with Shen. At least they're letting him push into the lanes where he can get towers. That's really smart for AltForOp. Really, really smart decisions from them. I mean, it does cost them this top turret because their bot lane is no longer capable of defending themselves. Oh, wait, you could have saw the slingshot forward there from Zach with a free play, although he's too low to make it work. And Rakan W lands onto 2. Kill is forced to get out of there, and that's the Tristana getting burnt down by the Ignite. Can't walk forward for another auto attack and keeps doing it. That allows Tiffany to flash forward, looks to land the W, but only lands it onto the Zach. One auto attack to kill the turret just to try and BM. Throws out another one, feels like he's obligated to get in there as Susan dies before his very eyes. But your only obligation as the ADC right now is to get out. Do not be a 7th death combined for your bot lane, and I feel like that the indecision there, actually out of kills secured, is going to cost him so much more than just that fight alone could have. He should have just got out, and he's still there with the slither of health. Back! You are worth nothing right now. The reason you're playing so far back, finally he's walking to the base. Oh, it's like I had to scream it and he heard me. Echo, though, looks like he's going to be forced to use the ultimate here, or maybe he'll just want to because the damage could be so big. He was on top of so many of them. Echo! Oh, that was a dream ult. There was a dream ult in there. He had him right on top of it. He could have dealt so much damage. He chose not to use it, though, and this Echo always uses the ult defensively, which makes me so sad. Even there, he's looking to use it defensively and just gets burnt down before it's even possible. A bit of an Echo syndrome. It's just so tough to watch AltForOp falter in these fights because you watch their play and their kind of mental decision-making, and it's good. But then the fights break out, and it's just raw anarchy. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. There is just brawling and scrapping. It's rough. I don't know, maybe they need a composition which isn't the 1-3-1, or maybe they need a composition which is more tailored to the 1-3-1, but I don't think it gets better than Echo and Gnosis on the side lanes. It definitely gets better than Tristana, though, for the wave clear, I'll be honest. Still, regardless of how you'd like to talk about AltForOp, the bad boys clearly in the lead right now and commanding it. We look at some of the numbers right now, and we'll see that the bot lane actually has 10 kill participation when we're talking kills. And if we compare that to the 11 kills that the team has total, that's something over 90% KP. Absolutely insane. And I mean, Sejuani has now fallen away from the 100% that she had through the early game, but impressive nonetheless, sitting at 10 combined kills and assists herself. Just really, really clean team play now. I don't think Shen has been the best, I'll be honest. I think it's been rather weak play from Smiley across the board. But hey, he's trying. His only death is views trying to save the team actively and not trying to get a kill. So at least he's not a greedy player, right? Although, now that the bad boys have this 5,000 team, I think argues better scaling in most spots actually. They're probably going to continue to be a problem. Can the Echo, can the Tristana, can the Gnosis outscale? Yes, obviously they're very good scaling champions and they're traditional scaling champions and they can push this. The thing is, I think that they actually lack the traditional means of wave clear and kind of front-to-back team fighting, which will actually allow them to win the fights against a team which has a gold lead on them like this. Now, if they stall out to the 35 or 38 minute mark, there's a good chance that with the items they could do it, but because the CS can stand kind of low, I'm not sure if they'll actually end up there by the 35-minute mark. It'll probably be more the 40 or 45-minute mark, where AltForOp will have enough stacks on the Gnosis for him to be a raid boss. The Echo will have the Zonia's Hourglass he's looking to get. He'll have the Rabadon's Death Cap, and what's the other item he gets? A Lich Bane, right? He'll have the kind of 4 items an Echo needs to deal a lot of damage. In the same way that Tristana will have at least 3 or 4 crit items and 100% crit chance, and will have her kind of scaling. All of these things are marks for waiting for, but look at the Stand United does get channeled on the Vladimir, definitely the strongest target for it. Now the channeling comes in, the healing comes in, and Gnosis is running into the Vladimir trying to get him in a flash away from 0-3. Is going to get him out of that situation. Gnosis goes down now 1 and 2, despite being a raid boss. All the fear crafting in the world is not going to make up for being out of position like that, and even though his team is going to answer back with a mid-turn, it still feels bad. We'll see if the bad boys can make something of the dead top laner. Probably not, though. The control ward on Baron, plus the fact that waves aren't shoving in their favor, means that the bad boys probably won't accomplish much more outside of just clearing waves for the meantime. And this actually is a bit of a ticking clock. I do think the Sivir scaling is good, but it's not as good as the Tristana. I do think the Vladimir scaling is good. And it's better than the Echo in the respect that it can outscale the Echo. And 0-3's been playing it better than I think Echo has been playing Echo. So that might end up being the deciding factor there, which says that the mid laner scales harder. Then obviously in the top lane, there's no amount of armor, health, or resistances that Shen is going to build that are going to make me say that he beats the infinite scaling of a 214 CS Gnosis. Now this is something we actually haven't talked about. I'm going to click on the big dog, see how many he has. Susan currently sitting at 645 stacks. Holy God, 645 bonus damage. Yeah, that's absolutely devastating. He is cleaving health bars by the time the 40-minute mark comes, just in the bonus damage, let alone the fact that he actually builds properly. And obviously, it's just going to be so bad watching him club down on people. You can actually watch this Trinity Force if you want to get a sample for what it's like to play against the man. It's constantly on cooldown. It's always spinning. It's one of the only actives that's always moving. It's kind of like the Rakan Moby boots. Yeah, he's just always queuing, and the stacks get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not getting any lower. Although in the mid lane, it looks like bad boys are making the siege onto the mid tower. Thresh Death sentence only connects onto the cannon minion, and that's going to throw it forward, which actually freezes the wave in a precarious position and might allow them to stop this with a little bit of wave there. Might have been a smart death sentence, all things considered. Saves the mid tower for the moment. Here we go, though. The mid tower is on a slither of HP right now, and it's looking like it's just going to take this cannon wave, seal the deal, as Sivir needs to walk up and auto-attack maybe 4 times, only lands 2, gets knocked back, hit by the turret, and smacked around. Here comes the slingshot in from Zach, that's going to force the back line out, but Vladimir Ultimate's going to secure the deal on the fight on the front end, and that means Rakan's able to actually play in the front and sweep to the back. Sejuani plays Peel, and Smiley plays in the side lane. Chased down and eaten by the dog, though. Now 0-2 and 4 is the top laner. I still think you just shove in the mid here. Yeah, Vladimir is the right answer to the Gnosis. But if the Gnosis does the shove, you should all just stay here as a big team ball. What do I know, though? It does look like they might get the turrets regardless. The Tristana definitely cannot step up She might be able to land some auto attacks onto the Sejuani, but the Sejuani has shown a total willingness to flash and make plays. I wouldn't do it. You can definitely tell Killed Spirit wants to. Look at Vladimir, though, making the plays onto Susan, looking to try and heal up the damage that he deals, and it's actually a really reliable matchup to put him into. Something I think the team should have done a long time ago was give Smiley the easier lane into Echo. Because Echo really can't deal with him anyway, but the issue is he's still built armor, right? And he's still building the Mercury Tread second. It's just you're not actually going to be stopping too many of the resistances that I think Gnosis or the Echo would bring out. Or even the Zek. Just not a Hobbit to the bot lane. At least she's not alone. Something you see a lot of ADCs do at this elo is they actually go at it alone. Now, we do see that the Echo is kind of forced to shove out these super minions by himself, and that's not really the best type of feeling in the world. I think he'd much rather have, I'm not sure, maybe it is the Echo. I'm looking at it, and I really think he actually might be the best answer. It's kind of sad, because you never really want the Echo to be in the mid lane. You want him in the side lane, if possible, like the Gnosis, but it's just not really possible in this case, so that does make some sense. So we do see the mid lane, a little bit of a lull comes in, but I think the Zek might be caught out. Not really sure. I feel like a slingshot could get him away. No, it's going to be the lantern from the Thresh. And then he still has the slingshot to regroup with the team, although Echo gets chunked down so low that he's forced to re-engage. His ultimate was up, though. That was a big mistake. Could have just ulted back onto the team that was chasing onto him. It's actually a double kill right now. Derek Shepard, who's making the play onto the last member, looking for the triple. Gets hit by the death sentence. It's going to get played here, but the spell shield's going to keep alive, beating up 2 turrets, though. It's a triple kill for the Stiffer. And the Vladimir uses the pool to stay alive. He took the aggro perfectly. And the Susan will die here. The question is, can he stop enough of the players to keep the Tristana in? And Tristana actually might even get this one. Nope. So yeah, because Derek Shepard eats up so much turret aggro, he goes down on the fight, and that actually allows them to stay alive here. And what looked like the end for AltForOp is actually going to be a game that continues to play on for them. And remember, the longer this goes, the better this is for them. Still only 5k gold down. So, the dragon is being taken right now. It's only the 3rd dragon of the game. Now, these players play so incredibly slow that I actually understand taking all these scaling picks, if I'm being honest. If they're going to play just at this, like, snail's pace, where only 3 dragons are taken at 30 minutes, I mean, most times at this point, we're talking this is sole point in, you know, any other elo. Even, like, I think most gold elos, this is sole point most time. These teams are just slow. But it makes sense then. Draft the scaling, draft the Tristana, draft the Gnosis, draft the Echo, draft the Vladimir, draft the Sivir. Only draft scaling if you're going to play the game at this type of a pace. And it makes a lot of sense to me in that case, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to which team's kind of able to hit those item points more than anything else. Because we can talk about scaling, but what scaling really comes down to is, do you have the items you need to effectively deal with all of the problems the other team has, right? And for Echo, it's looking like he's almost there. He does need the death cap. Then he should be good. There's definitely another item or 2 that you want to put in there, like the Zhonya's Hourglass, but the death cap will give him enough AP. Although it looks like Thresh is going to get caught out here. Not enough items will save that man no matter what. Support's unfortunately always feeling pain. Although the Zac is on top of a ward there, probably, yeah, he can top. So he's going to clear that out. In the meantime, Susan takes the top tower, and with it, the last outer turret for the Bad Boys falls. Obviously, the Bad Boys base is in shambles right now. Inhibitors open on the top and the mid. Middle just gone at this point. And it's 4 members now looking to siege down the inhibitor from the tower they took so long ago. They actually seem to just be walking out. They're playing a little too passively with the minion wave, and I think it's actually going to allow for the side of AltForOp to kind of regroup, and that's what's going to also in turn allow for Shen to shove in the bot lane. Now, Shen hasn't been with the team in very long. We're going to see if we do see a Stand United come out, but it's actually not available, so maybe he'll use his teleport. Yeah, Shen would have to teleport to this fight when it starts, and I actually don't have a lot of faith in the Shen reliably showing up for his team when they need him. Just because he really has an all game. I mean, he's tried, he's not played the worst Shen in the world, but he definitely hasn't shown us the type of Shen performance that at least I would expect out of a champion who I think is tuned right now. His team reaping the benefits of the decision making, though, and they're going to take that bot tower. It was a smart play then to try and siege on the top inhibitor. AltForOp, so on the back foot, all they can do is play reactionary League of Legends right now, and nothing really feels worse than playing reactionary League of Legends. All you want to do is be your own person. Oh, sorry about that. So we do see the Sivir making their play onto the mid lane, takes the inhibitor turret here, or at least I imagine they're going to, not the turret, the inhibitor itself. But actually, they don't. I don't understand how it's only the Sivir hitting it. These AP champions deal so much damage to structures. They need to start hitting it. Riot has buffed you all so much, and you all just act so weak. Because now Sivir eating all of the damage, forced to use the ultimate there, and of course she is, because she's doing all the work. Dark Shepherd eating even auto attacks from the Thresh. The W from the Gnosis is going to land under the recon, but the quickness is going to get him out as auto attacks rain down and crits ricochet around the fight. Here comes Vladimir though, and he's got 3 inside the pool. It should be enough to heal him back up, but he dies before the heal can come back in. Zaxxlux bounce refocuses the fight, but Susan, still on the front line, is going to continue to take these crit attacks from the Sivir, who's looking to even build a last Whisper soon. Maybe deal with the final straws of this bit of damage. Here we go, though. Echo's looking to land that parallel convergence. He's already hit 1 3-man this game, and wiser is Basbois for it. They refuse to stand inside of that. So it looks like this is going to be the full disengage, and maybe this should be a Baron. It is 34 minutes into the game, and there are 2 members dead, but instead it's going to be a full recall. Again, incredibly slow League of Legends. Snail's pace. I cannot stress enough how slow you all are playing. If there's anyone watching this broadcast who can talk to the teams and tell them they're playing slow, I would appreciate it so much. I'm not sure if it would fix it, but sometimes just being told to go faster might mean they actually play faster. And all I mean by faster is taking objectives when you can take objectives, and forcing advantages when you have them, and getting as much as you can, and playing as, on top of things as possible. Just making the decision. It's something that takes some practice, and it takes a whole lot of failure, don't get me wrong. I mean, you don't know how many times you're going to call a Baron if you haven't ever been a shot caller, and you're going to find out that you mistimed it and you couldn't go for it. But if you get there and you get to the point where you can get a team that listens to you, there's nothing like playing League of Legends at the full pace. It's just so fun. Unfortunately, that's not the type of game we're living in this world. Instead, it's just 5-man balls all around the map and team fight galores. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Basbois who take it, because they've shown the kind of prowess of a team fight. The biggest issue with that now is that the gold is now 4K difference, and AltForOp has the scaling on their side. At some point, it has to come through. It's that, or this Tristana pick makes no sense. This Echo pick makes no sense. They're wasted energy, or your laners just shouldn't be doing the job. Defeated. We'll see how this parallel convergence land onto. It's going to keep the action. If he doesn't land the ultimate, it's going to be a ricochet coming out from the Zac, and he's going to not eat the 20 damage, but does eat the smite. The ultimate lands on the Thresh, and that's going to be what seals his fate. And with the Zac going down as well, that's 3 dead. Gnosis in the top lane, still farming with his teleport alive, and Vladimir BMing with the ultimate and Zhonya's as the surrender vote comes out. Gnosis kind of teleports back to the base, and I mean, AltForOp definitely could have played that a lot better in so many different respects. But the most telling thing we can say is that their scaling picks were given time, they were given options, they had the chance, they hit the 35-minute mark, and they failed. So maybe it's time to reevaluate that strategy, or to have a candid talk with them about what's expected when you do pick a composition like this. Now, we do open up the quick stats, and we'll see if we have anyone who, has any shame stats, and of course, because it's a gold game, we do. So first, I'll tell you who had the highest damage, and I think it should be no shock. It's Sivir with 47,000. Next highest, if you were thinking it might be Gnosis, was only 22,000. That's more than half of what, or less than half of what Sivir actually had. And we're talking damage to champions there. Now, as far as sad stats go, turret damage, everybody at least hit a turret. And Thresh found a way to get 67 damage down onto one. That was probably an auto attack or 2, but he did it. The unfortunate thing here is control wards. We actually had 2 people not by a single control ward. The first one, which makes me feel a little bit better that he lost, was actually in the Gnosis in the top lane, did not buy 1 control ward. despite actually a pretty good coverage everywhere else and tying for the most wards destroyed. And on the other side, it was also the other damage dealer, Sivir, who refused to buy control wards throughout the game, did not buy a single one. Both of these shame stats should definitely be noted. We need to buy control wards, even when we're 13, 1, and 9. But that's going to be it for us for at least game one. We do have game two coming right now. So we're going to kick it to a short break, get the players loaded in, and be back with you when the draft phase starts up. So stick around.
Every child in Valorant has heard the tale before about the cursed mummy boy who felt his heart no more. So sad and lorn, the helpless lad, Amumu was his name. He ventured out to find a friend and learn about his bane. For many years, young Amumu traveled through the lands, determined to make friends if only they would understand. But even when Amumu stood upon the ledge of home, his hope would disappoint him and he would remain alone. But then the curse began to whisper in his ear. It would confirm what was Amumu's biggest fear. It pledged that never shall someone become his friend. It pledged that he shall be alone until his end. But sorrow and despair became too much to bear. The moment when Amumu realized what he had done, too late it was for him, for them. The evil curse had won. The anger and the anguish overwhelmed his fragile soul and caused a wicked tantrum that he never could control. around again. You wanna dose of this right now it's KDA. I'm a goddess with a blaze. 소리처럼 내 이름 잊지 못하게 loud 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 loud. I could take you to the top. 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bag yeah yeah yeah. And when I start to talk that oh you know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with the wild in my veins. You can hear it in my growl 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 growl. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 다 할 수 없는 대로 나와 되길 원한 늘 확신해. We got it all in our hands now. So can you handle what we're all about? We're so tough. Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. Go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. You ready for this? Let's go. See, 언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지. 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아? 견딜 수 없어 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여. I'm troubling you running it. I'm so cold. When I move that way, you gon' be so blown. I'm the realest in the game. Said I'm on fire with the blade. You're about to hear my name, ringing in your head like whoa. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. We so tough. Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. Go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. 난 멈추지 않아. We go hard. We pop stars. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You could go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. Go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back for game 2 of our first place deciding matchup here at SRG Division 5. This game on the blue side, we're going to be having the team down a game. It's AltForOp. And on the red side, it's the team who's currently looking to win and get in. First place, first seed, first everything for them. Undefeated season for the Bad Boys. It's all on the line in this game. And if they win this, it's just 100% set. There's no rule that can change it, no decision, no discretion. At the end of the day, this team will be your number 1 team if Bad Boys come off. And now joining me is Caribou. Caribou, tell the good people, hey.
I'm awake. I'm here. I'm ready to go. I promise. I didn't miss any messages.
It's a great morning. And it looks like Sejuani banned away immediately. They do not want to see that pick anymore, and I don't blame them. Sejuani, a very strong pick. Showed a lot in that game.
Yeah, beefy junglers are just obnoxious to deal with, especially when you have that lockdown potential. I mean, we saw from the other side, AltForOp, they were pretty much on their heels the whole time, running. So if they have anything that can slow them down, they don't want that.
And Sejuani, a very good jungler, especially for people who make mistakes like myself. I actually, if you see me in the jungle, I exclusively play junglers who, like Sejuani, have a means of getting away when you make a mistake. Like a Headbutter, Flag and Dragon, or Jarvan, for example.
Oh.
Those are just really good tools if you're thinking about them in that way. Obviously, a lot of junglers only think about them as engage, and then they use it really early and they don't have a way to get out. But that's, unfortunate that does happen. It looks like, though, Sivir, Victor, and Lucian all gone, and the Sivir ban makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. After dealing 48,000 damage in the last game, they just don't want to have to deal with that kind of...
Wait, that's actually, they banned their own Sivir. Sorry to cut you off, it's just I would just...
Was that their own?
Am I wrong? No, I'm sorry, I'm sorry,
it was
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It was Derek Shepard who played it.
Yep. But they just don't want to deal with that again. That was too much damage, and no thank you. Just moving on from that. Kled ban as well. I like that because it's a very, very bruiser, bullied top lane kind of meta. That's where we're at. So
yeah, Kled's only losing matchup is Fiora is the traditional way to say it. Now that Janna is not a Janna. I know what you're thinking. It's a weird first pick. That Janna is actually a Yasuo. So Signals are going to be going for a knock-up type of composition. And Tarek Twitch is the immediate answer to that. I actually think that these two together are more than a dynamic bot lane. They're downright terrifying.
yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, with Twitch just stealthing in and be able to get a lot of free fire off, it's really obnoxious because you really just don't know. But if Tarek's stun as well, I like that Jarvan hover. Like you had mentioned, that flag and drag though, the mobility around the jungle plus the knock up for the Yasuo, that is the Janna.
I mean, it's a strong enough pick that honestly Jarvan is able to be played bot lane with Summoner Aerie even in his flag.
Yeah.
But he will be with the Yasuo, so there will be, unfortunately, no Janna. Though this team does have enough, so it does get tricky to remember what's actually what. Still, on the topic of Twitch, AoE auto attack never actually makes. Still can't wrap my head around how that's a mechanic. He has them, and as is, and Annie is Fiora, so man, actually kind of weird. He play.
So the Fiora top, I mean, I like that as well because of the sense that it is the heavy AD bruiser top lane meta. I mean, you want someone that you can split push. You want someone like the Nasus was. You just leave them in their lane alone and just forget about them and they're going to be fine.
It's actually a very fair point. I forgot who was going to be having the champion. And what this does is it actually forces, it forces this Vladimir lock-in, which is not what I was going to say, actually. I was going to say it would force a top lane lock, which would mean the jungler couldn't lock in. So they get 2 more jungle bans to protect the Jarvan here. And instead, Basbois had to lock in a mid laner, which kind of throws a real monkey wrench into what I think was AltForOp's really sound draft strategy.
Yeah, so far, I mean, not answering back with the top laners, curious enough, unless they are going to send the Twitch in the jungle, which I would be surprised. They're going to ban Shen out because they just don't want that global presence. We saw it interrupt a couple of their ideas in the last game. I mean, Shen was kind of a non-factor for a lot of it, but there was the Stand United, the Shield, and the Taunt was enough at least a couple of times to kind of pay itself off, all things considered.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big critic of how he played Shen, but that's just because I think Shen is so good right now that when he's played properly, he's downright oppressive. So to see him only be decent is, it's kind of just, it feels bad, if that makes sense. I don't know, it'd be like first picking Kled and then going even in lane. It's just not what he's supposed to do.
So at this point, waiting on potentially...
Is that actually...
There's the actual
Nunu
jungle.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It fits in the hands of Tiffany from what we saw in the Sejuani play. It's really reliable on the ganks, and the objective control is par to none. Although I recently did play with a Diamond player who couldn't use the Nunu Q with Smite, and it was actually really funny to watch like someone who's traditionally really skilled actively lose dragons and barons to a player a lower level than them because they couldn't do the consume Smite right. But Soraka is Orianna.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Exactly what you told me to do.
Told you it's painful.
Yeah, but you said the ability names, and Oriana's there. We were prepared for this. We didn't even know it.
Yeah, I didn't even think that through because I'm still looking at it like it's a No, the Orianna coming in. Obviously, this is going to be a really strong Yasuo composition. You have to remember that that's actually a Yasuo Fiora and a now an Orianna because AltForOp has decided they need 3 placeholders. Wait. Alistar is a Soraka because they took the Soraka from them.
Okay.
That's awesome. So Alistar is actually Soraka, and these teams are going to have to quit out so we can get a much better picture of what it looks like. I'm pretty sure Yasuo is going mid, and then who's in the top side? It's Fiora versus...
It would have been Fiora and not Vladimir.
Nope. We'll see. We'll see soon.
I totally forgot. They took it away from me, and I don't remember anymore.
Oh, Soraka top.
Oh, yeah.
Soraka top.
Yeah.
Soraka was locked in top as the last pick. Thank you. That shouts out to the production manager. Don't want to take credit for that.
Yep. That makes sense.
Quick that matchup, and given the Soraka's been beaten.
Yeah, Soraka, like they made a lot of changes because of how good Soraka top was. So they made a lot of adjustments to that because it was just obnoxiously overpowered with a 60 some odd % win rate. And
Yep.
they nerfed the top lane solo lane ability for her, but still keeping her relevant as a support. But she's got the healing to deal with Fiora, at least.
Now, there is one cool interaction actually happening in the top lane, and that's that Fiora can do the slide parry into the E from Soraka and parry the root and stunner. Now, is it easy? No. Is the timing very tight? I mean, if you're a speedrunner, it's a big window, but if you're not, it's definitely a tight window. Yeah, but I'd love to see it. If MK can pull off the kind of, sliding parry I want to see into the Soraka E, I would absolutely lose it. You would hear me screaming. It does look like, though, the jungle is actually going to be Jarvan and Nunu, which I'm pretty sure is Nunu favored, but Jarvan obviously can outplay him if he saves all of his abilities and kind of, plays in a reactionary manner. But that's not really a Jarvan at that point, is it?
Yeah, not particularly, but I do like, I mean, in a sense, it's very obvious what they want to do. They want to go with the 1-4. They want to have Fiora just off on her own, doing her own thing, while the other 4 people are all playing around Yasuo. They want to get these knockups to get these displacements so Yasuo can do as much damage in the backline. Beyond that, it's just, everyone else, hope you get through your solo lanes okay. Yasuo's got to get rolling here. It's Orianna into Vladimir is a tough matchup, but beyond, I mean, they just got to really hope that Yasuo gets rolling here. Because if not, then they're in trouble.
No, the Yasuo is their win condition. You're 100% right. And getting him rolling is first and I think second priority, actually. It's like we have to get Yasuo rolling, and then we have to make sure he doesn't fall behind, right?
Yep.
And then kind of third priority is, and please, Fiora, don't go behind either. Like, but that's your,
right,
back in the mind objective.
Yeah, we just fingers crossed that that's going to pan out for all of them. I mean, your win condition, you don't want your win condition to fall apart. On the other side, the Vladimir is going to scale up with 2 items. Twitch is going to be able to scale up as well. Soraka is just going to be able to press R to heal everybody. So she doesn't even have to be there for the fight to heal. But once she gets, through the lane phase, then she's probably going to be the one that goes in with the team and let Vladimir answer to Fiora. Because there's
actually really interesting to see that the Soraka into the Vladimir, because there's so much room for them to kind of out-itemize each other. But even like Soraka, I'm pretty sure she can go Mikhail's Crucible and get the Vladimir passive off of people for his ultimate.
She could. I don't know specifically.
I don't know if it'd be the best answer for this specific matchup, but it's like, again, it's an option. She actually, like, in the way that these two can itemize. Actually, wait, she's on the wrong side. Very sad. It had to be her con taking Mikhail's, and that would never be worth it for the man. Although, as far as damage goes, there's only 2 damage threats on the bad boy side, and that's something we've seen not pan out a lot. Now, have they picked 2 good damage threats? I think they've picked one very good one, and then they've also picked Vladimir. Oh, last game, the Vladimir's good, but it's not game-changing, right?
Right.
If it was, he'd probably be out of the elo he's in right now. He'd be really high up because he does show that, like, Vladimir, he can play it. But if you can play it at that level where you can 1v4, 1v5, that's when you skyrocket really quickly. That said, Twitch does not require nearly the amount of execution and kind of like know-how and, decision-making that a Vladimir requires. AoE auto attacks.
The benefit that he does have is that he gets to be able to, stealth around Windwall and kind of play around that. So hopefully they are smart enough to just not blind fire his ult into the Windwall and just
I can
let
see
all
it
of
already.
that go to waste.
I just say it. I see it like in my head. I picture it. I can see the Twitch. He's laughing and he's doing his thing like he's killing it, and just every single bolt is just not going anywhere. It's just all I see in my head.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they're smart enough to play around that one. But they do have a good kind of. It'll be a good dance in the bot lane here, because of the fact that it's just you're playing around Windwall. You've got to avoid all these knockups and Yasuo dashing in and out. They both have a lot of mobility, Yasuo and Rakan, just to dash in and out and do some damage, and then theoretically, hopefully, win these trades. But if Tarek lands a good stun, then they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, Tarek, Vladimir, Nunu, and Soraka all are primarily healing champions, which
Yeah.
will most likely build a which is a lifesteal item as first or second item. Just setting the stage for the question. At what minute do you think that AltForOp will buy healing reduction, and how many members will do it?
One member will do it. It's the Fiora.
You think only the Fiora will do it? Will she get the item or just the executioner's calling? And at what minute is she going to buy the item?
Just the executioners, and I give it till 12 minutes.
So I genuinely, what I think is going to happen is I think that the Orianna is going to rush him first by a Morella Namicon, and that will be the only healing we see on the entire team. The only healing reduction, sorry. I genuinely have a strong feeling that they're going to talk about it, and their decision is going to be, we don't want to buy too much healing reduction, so we'll just have Orianna buy a Morella Namicon, and then that's going to be it.
Well, we'll see which direction it goes. Spectator delay
Yasuo
countdown.
could do it, but we each seem to have very little faith
Yeah.
in Yasuo actually buying the item, which would be incredible with his AoE damage. It's just sad.
It's no disrespect to Yasuo himself. It's just the champion Yasuo. People that choose to play that champion, I have hesitance to believe in capabilities.
No, like I really I play a lot of ARAM, and I actually never want to get Yasuo in ARAM, so he's the only champion whose champion shard I just refuse to upgrade into a permanent. I just leave it there. I'm like, maybe one day when they rework you. But when would they ever rework Yasuo? He's kind of a perfect design champion in all fairness. Same.
I missed 2 seconds.
Oh, we're at 5, and then he'll count down.
Yeah, I'm at 5.
So as everybody loads up onto the rift here, we see some dabbing penguins.
I respect that. It's a good emote. GLHF, of course.
So it's actually like a 5-man stack for AltForOp. This is the first time we've seen this from them in the series. And they're going right to the pixel brush, which is actually one of the worst brushes to do this full 5-man invade on. All it does is signal to the 5 of you are in the same place.
Yeah, it's with all 5 of them there, all 5 of them getting spotted out now. They're walking over one ward, making their way to the second one. That's...
No, it's rough. And the correct answer here is to walk up. Obviously, I think the Soraka and the Vladimir should have walked up and got vision on the blue buff. And that all 5 are there. There's just no excuse for standing near your turret at this minute. As it actually looks like Soraka will walk up. That's ward, though. Come on. Like, how passive are you? You just saw all 5.
Yeah.
Like, you really must have had a bad last game, or in your own opinion, or in your own mental, to only go for that ward when you see all 5 members of the enemy team at the same time. Like, that is an aggressive passiveness.
Yeah, but there's a lot of... that entire wall of red wards now. I mean, I like the fact that they actually set up some sort of vision.
It's really too much vision, though, for the early levels, I'll be honest.
No.
I mean, that's all 5 wards gone. That means bot lane's not going to have a ward for the bushes in the bottom.
And they're all gonna drop, like, before ganks even come around.
Which is devastating. Yeah, it is actually a problem. I mean, you really just want to land the 2. And I mean, maybe for the one in that pixel rush, but even that I think is a mistake. It's probably a choice that Tiffany's making, which is actually intelligent, because they probably don't actually use their ward that often at early level. So they just drop it in that bush early, so that way at least it gets used. I mean, it's a poor solution, but it's a solution.
Yep, they already know exactly where they're gonna start. This early stun.
The Yasuo already.
Wow.
Yeah, the early stun definitely feels a little bit of pressure. I think Kill Secured is gonna have a very bad time in this lane. Tarek does mean things to Yasuo.
Yeah, it's kind of at least able to hit him a couple times with this hammer, the big pink hammer.
Well, yeah, and every time he actually uses an ability, he gets 2 auto attacks, which are going to be empowered and have quicker movements or attack speed, which is so fast that he actually pretty much lands them instantly. And that's why you'll see Tarek's frequently have really fast attack speed and just kind of keep on whacking through fights because they're cycling all their abilities.
Oh, Vladimir missed his cannon.
You can only feel like that this is just not going to go in Kill Secure's favor, and this is going to be the end for AltForOp. Given that this is their win condition and that he's so pressured in the early levels, it doesn't really get much better for Yasuo in this lane either.
I mean, you can't wait. I mean, you're not going to get a gank at this point. Jarvan's got to be level 3. You got to get the full flag and drag with the slow if you want anything to come out of that.
He is level 3.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that, they can't expect anything prior to that. So being able to get pushed up and, you know, hopefully hold the wave right around here so that Jarvan can come down. But it looks like he's going to be prioritizing in the mid lane.
Which is a big mistake, in my opinion.
See, now that the lane's pushing out, this is the wrong time to come bottom.
Yeah, and I mean, you see that they're actually playing this properly again, where the side of the Basbois, who are actually waiting and letting the lane shove into them, which is going to secure the safety for this gank, and it kind of nullifies the disadvantage they were at for the entire team using their early lanes.
In theory, a good idea, but just once Yasuo started pushing out, then it was too late for Jarvan. I mean, there was nothing else. They had 3 caster minions stacked up. There wasn't going to get a lot. The damage was too much, and Jarvan was not in a good position to get a gank.
Man, very sad cue there from the Soraka. But obviously, Fiora gained movement speed and she hits those vitals.
Pretty slow rolling here, but there is a snowball rolling coming in.
Yeah, that's going to look to connect onto the Orianna. Might force out a flash, but actually Vladimir is so low. Oh, hidden in the boo. Takes the damage, though. I even underestimated Tiffany on the Nunu there.
Okay. It's not coming from the river, but...
Oh, look at this. It's the first engage from Killed Secured. Rakan going to wildly miss with the W. Here comes Jarvan with the flag and drag. Also going to wildly miss only an auto attack. And, I mean, if missing skill shots was the goal, they succeeded.
They did, and Windwall was completely sideways, so it didn't block anything. But there's another gank needed.
She pushed up. Why would you make such a simple mistake? You gotta get your health back up. You have the teleport. You want to use it to get back to lane alive, not from the dead.
There isn't even a ward there. Like, there's no ward on the bot side either. So you're starting to push up. The flash getting called out. She's teleporting back to lane now, but that's just a simple mistake. Very, very simple of... You lose your flash, of course you're going to get ganked. Repeat. That's...
You know,
with a Nunu that can go that fast, yeah.
In that elo, I'll be honest, where you think that that's how it's supposed to be played, and like, while I agree, I'm in that same egregious level where I'm like, come on, of course. We do have to take that step back and say, like, a lot of times in solo queue, the flash gets blown, and they're like, okay, laner, it's your turn now to deal with that. Like, it's kind of a backwards logic, but it's how they think.
You're not wrong. You would expect, but in this time, that repeat game came through.
But yeah, Jarvan actually playing the game properly. It's a nice sight to see. Although it does put him a level behind on the Nunu as well, because you know Nunu has the kill. Or sorry, the Nunu playing properly. That puts him a level ahead. Little things. Although we do actually see there's even a discrepancy in the way they're both building. That health crystal is going to be worlds different than the longsword. Health, obviously, the hardest resource to come across, except for tenacity.
Still waiting to see if we're going to get any...
Yeah, that's
a
little bit of
wall.
engagement.
There we go.
It's not going to stop anything, though, does it? Oh, it actually does, because they run into the minions. Very unfortunate. Because the Windwall actually gets beaten by the Terror Key, which means that even if it gets used well, it gets used poorly, which is why this lane is so aggressive.
This is about... This is where we'd expect this top lane to be, though. Fiora's got double the CS of Soraka.
And I mean, it's levels that Soraka really wants, right? It's getting to the level 6, and it's being able to buy some of the support items, which are already cheaper, and kind of make up for that. Now, should Soraka be down 30? No. But it's not, you know, the end of the world, and it's not totally unexpected. So yeah, Twitch actually gets a back off here and seems to sacrifice a whole chunk of CS for it. It's really rough. It's going to be sad to watch all that.
And on the cannon wave, too.
Yeah, and I mean, you are supposed to back on cannon waves, but you're supposed to back on cannon waves that you shove, right?
Yeah.
It just happens like that. We do see Orianna gets the shield down, and that actually might be what keeps her alive, even though this route might land for Nunu. No, the movement speed's enough to keep her alive.
So, Nunu's spending a lot of time here in mid lane. Which, I mean, you're not going to want to really gank top lane. You don't have that kill pressure, so that makes sense to focus that.
Yeah, that or the bot side and put Yasuo as far behind as possible, because he does have an even CS number.
Yeah. It's one of those the elos of just, I want to shut this down so much as I just want to win this lane. You just don't want Yasuo to scale.
No, that is really fair. The one thing you don't want to do is give him kills. And you don't want to give him free lanes. That way he has as much CS as Fiora's going to have.
Right.
Which is part 3 of the 3-part win con. You know, Fiora.
Yeah.
Getting ahead and winning. She's got that. Unfortunately, part 1 and 2 have yet to be seen.
There's Rift Herald going down on the top side. They did ping it, like, as soon as it spawned. They went straight for it.
It's awesome. It's almost like they were listening to me last game where I kept telling them to please go for the Rift Heralds because they're awesome. But it does look like the Vladimir's getting the engage here. Now that heal's gonna be enough to get him back, but I feel like that the pool is actually
Ooh, the
pretty much
shockwave. Let's go.
Until he heals himself back up, the turret will be his demise. And that's because he elected to use that pool in such a poor manner it allowed the Orianna to dictate the fight, but I don't have time because in the bot lane, it's 5 stacks on both laners, and in the top lane, the Herald's getting dropped. It's pandemonium across the rift as AltForOp is looking to make every advantage that they can in this quick and chaotic moment. Fiora is diving forward, trying to get a little bit of poke. The Rift Herald is staying up as long as she can. And in the bot lane, all sides disengaged.
A little bit of chaos pretty much across the board right there where Herald going top, Jarvan tanking tower, so they couldn't even stay there to stop that. Nunu just snowballed all the way down lane. The fight mid, the dive, I guess worth, maybe? I really don't know if that's going to pan out for either one of them. I mean, they both just died. And then bot lane, at least they survived with the expense of the Twitch ult and a Taric ult. Yeah, so ulting as well, so pretty even trades for not really giving anything up.
Yeah, and we're going to see the implications of those trades as the next 30 seconds kind of roll around and the dragon becomes more and more of a priority. Although it looks like all ults might be back up really soon, actually. And the quickness is still available, Last Whisper almost back up, and the only thing that's really going to be down, actually, is the Taric.
Yeah, and the fact that you'll have Star Call as well for those heals from Soraka, that's going to help a lot, just in the global presence of kind of dissuading you from wanting to take any extra fights.
Oh, look at that flash away from the Twitch. Wow. Because of his Q, but still charmed up as a support. Cannot deal the damage onto the big Taric, though. Unfortunately, I actually think Taric is pretty weak at this point, and you might have been able to deal more damage than you think. This is going to open up a spot for AltForOp to go and get to this dragon as well, just like they got the Rift Herald on the top side.
Yeah.
Stuns land, the wind wall cannot stop the stun. It's the second time he used it. The snowball connects, the root's going to go in, even though he lands the 3-man ultimate. The flash is just too late as the E gets pulled back using the last bit of mana from Derek Shepard.
A good engage, I mean, as far as the Twitch and the Taric goes, the wind wall just not blocking that stun. And then Nunu, once again, hovering in the wings with the snowball to get in on that. I mean, a good ult for all things considered for the Yasuo, but they're just kind of telegraphed as far as what their objectives are after the first flash engage from Rakan, and that one didn't pan out. And then Jarvan clearing out the vision on the dragon. It's very clear they want to focus around bot lane, focus around this dragon objective. And then Yasuo just getting stuck in a 1-on-3.
Yeah, and Yasuo was stuck. I mean, he tried his best there, but it's very hard to play into the Taric counter matchup. This is a hard counter when we're talking about hard counters. It's so rough that you can actually take Taric mid into the man. And you don't win, but you survive. And I mean, I guess you can win technically, but it's not really you winning as so much as it is Yasuo losing. We do see though
back to the reset.
Yeah, that's the most comfortable place for these players, but at least they've again heeded my warning a little bit and they're playing faster. The dragons have become a priority. AltForOp is on top of these. And I'm really happy to see them, you know, playing on the map a little bit. The dragons could have been taken sooner, but they already took the Herald. Substitute Orianna going to get picked out here, forced to use the flash. Flash forward from the Nunu, and the Yasuo's going to land the 2. Man, because of the Jarvan engage, it was the perfect play, but Taric is the perfect counter to it all. And that's what's going to allow for Twitch and Nunu to make the plays count. The quickness comes in, but it really just prolongs the death of threat tool. Yeah, the ultimate is going to heal up for Fiora, but it's too little, too late, as the team is not there for it. And that is why Taric will remain the hardest counter to Yasuo in the book. Oh, the pause comes in.
All of that happened, all things considered. Fiora's got her executioners, by the way, at 12 minutes. So, there we go.
You win.
All of that considered, They just lined up in a funnel. Twitch came in to auto attack everybody. Fiora had her ult down, was getting the healing out of that. Vladimir and Tarek were both in the dragon pit. Neither one of them were in that fight. They were just over the wall the whole time. And they still managed to win. They were still having that impact, having that effect. That's insane.
Yeah. It's must be terrifying to be an AltForOp player in that type of a situation, especially if you are where your whole team is just dying around you and you can't do anything to watch. Yeah, it's rough. It's very rough. The pause is a little. I'm not really sure. It feels kind of disingenuous. I don't know if that makes sense. After such a bad team fight, it almost feels like that a player kind of lost their cool. But maybe it's a connection issue. But it genuinely, it sounds like one of those things. I mean, I've been on a lot of teams, and one of the things people really like to do is say that they were lagging, which is one of the best things you'll ever see when somebody will say that they're lagging and they make a poor decision. And then I get to say my favorite line, which is like, lag doesn't cause poor decision making, because it doesn't. You know, like you drop a word in the wrong place or you decide to do something you're not supposed to do.
Internet lag is not the same as brain lag.
Exactly. It's just not the same. Like, you know, you make a poor decision that you made that, regardless of your ping. It could be 300. In this situation, though, I didn't really see anywhere where I think connection actually would have made a difference, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I just think that Tarek ultimate.
A Tarek ult was nuts. I mean, over the wall and able to pretty much put everybody in that. They lined up in a choke point for both sides, really. Ultimately, that favors the Twitch because Yasuo had already used his last Whisper, so there wasn't anything else that he could get out of that one. And once Fiora's healing went down, everyone's dead at that point. So it's like 2-on-4, and there's 2 over the wall, and it's just not really working for any of them because Tarek's still able to get the healing and get his passive abilities over the wall. Plus Vladimir, they're in range, so he can hit his Qs and hit his E's. So it's just not ideal. I mean, it's too little, too late for the blue side.
And there's still a chance for them to come back into this game, and it's hard to call it a comeback when, I mean, they're 200 gold down. And you know what I'm going to say right now, or do you not? It's the power of the Herald.
Yeah.
That's what gave him that advantage. It's taking the Herald. The Dragon isn't giving you that. The Dragon gives you 50 gold. There's no gold advantage you get from it. I'm telling y'all, if you're listening to me, the strategy right now is to prioritize Herald over everything else and get 2 of them. Use one before the platings come down and use the second one just to take a turret. Open up the map a bit. Maybe crack an inhibitor if you're that good. Forget the dragons. Stacking 4 dragons is better than getting the 2 and not getting those Heralds. But, I don't know. Maybe one day, everyone will be doing it, not just the top players.
I would agree. And all of the above. Maybe one day we'll get
preaching there. I'm like, everyone, they were doing it in Master Tier for a while now, and I didn't know about it. And then they started doing it in Diamond Tier, and, a lot of people started to hear about it. And the Plats haven't really taken it up yet, but when the Plats do, eventually the Golds will. And by that point, Riot will have fixed it, and they'll be doing a strategy that's old and doesn't work anymore. But until that point comes around, I seriously suggest Rift Heralds.
And it seems like I'm not fluent in that language, but it seems like the pause is actually from the red side. Something along the lines of
fluent in that language.
Something along the lines of Discord. I recognize the word Discord.
Oh wait, so I actually have my chat hidden because I don't like to look at it. Yeah, there's a Discord word. There's a lot of I believe it's Danish actually. Normally those are the people who are the least happy with my casting, so at least I know to be biased towards the blue side now. Wait, they're both Danish. No, there can't be a bias. That's rough.
Yep. You're biased against both of them.
Yep.
You want them both to lose.
Really, the only loser here is me then. Such a sad life.
F. It's a big F in the chat.
F's in the chat.
Yikes. I said just give it a couple minutes. Hopefully Discord. We were having some issues with Discord yesterday as well. I was doing a show, and Discord just quit in the last round completely. So we just had to end the show with the end of the game because Discord just was not working. So at least it's not just me. I'm glad it's a little bit more than this, but I am concerned because it's apparently more than a one-day event if Discord's having issues.
I mean, get a TeamSpeak server. That'd be an option.
Yeah.
I unfortunately have to pay for one every 3 months.
Yeah. I remember TeamSpeak. Good days.
Not a huge fan of it, honestly, but I run a esports organization that's in a building where they've actively blocked Discord on the Wi-Fi, but they haven't blocked TeamSpeak. So
Curious.
you have to get a TeamSpeak server, so that way you can get on without having to get things unblocked. Because every time I need to get something unblocked, it's like I'm asking for them to, move mountains. I find my workarounds.
Moving mountains is not easy.
Yes,
Try.
Miley Cyrus wrote a whole song.
She did. It's all about the climb. You can't move it. You just got to get over it.
It's an awful song, but she wrote it.
What?
She says so.
What?
Are you a fan of the climb?
Are you really in here bashing on Miley Cyrus right now? Come on.
Well, I like her as a person, but her music
I
is
love that song.
Like, I would have liked to go to see her on tour, but like, again, I think her music is pretty bad.
There's 2 songs of hers that I like, and that's it. I don't even know anything else really that she wrote. And once she started getting into that crazy phase, I'm out. But
oh, that's what I like though. I like the crazy stuff.
Oh,
I'm
no.
always down for that.
Oh, no.
Are you kidding me? She was literally throwing a tour, an entire tour. The goal was to just like rave, rage, and mosh to Miley Cyrus music. Do you know how excited I was for that?
Oh no. Why?
Yeah, that's. I'm so sad. I wish I had gone. I would have had a great time. That's like the Wiggles are gonna make an adult-only concert tour, and do you know how amped I would have been to mosh at a Wiggles concert?
I would be down to mosh at a Wiggles concert. Sign me up. Absolutely. Fruit salad? Yummy, yummy. Let's go. Oh, man. Discord, please. Let's get these teams back in this. This is quickly declining.
Yeah, I think there is a limit on the amount of time you're allowed to have pause, but it happens.
Well, we're at 7.5 minutes now, so...
So while we're here, let's take a quick look at the gold, my favorite metric. A little X click will get us there. So the mid laners and the jungle on the side of Basbois, both sitting at about 4,800 gold apiece. And that's nothing to gawk at, honestly, when we're talking a 2,000 gold lead. That's
Right.
about a quarter apiece, which is a substantial amount of the gold. And then obviously the ADC is trailing right behind them, about 400 behind, which is the best allocation you could hope for. The other side, things are a little bit more unequal. The top gold in the game is on Fiora at 5,121, and she just spent every last penny of it. So those items you're looking at, that Executioner, that Ravenous Hydra, that's what she wants right now. That's everything she's going to get right now. While we look at the rest, I mean, Rakan is sitting on half of his gold. He actually just really needs to back right now, which is what he's doing. So he'll be happy to get that off. And then the only other people who are really noteworthy here would be the Rakan and the Orianna, both at about 4,000 apiece. But that's still, I mean, 700-800 behind their counterparts.
Yeah, they have a ways to make up, where they're at, but the gold difference really kind of favoring to where, obviously, the kills are. I mean, Noon is 303, and he has a 1,000 gold lead over Jarvan, because Jarvan's just 0-1. Like, they just haven't made any plays. I mean, it's 7-1. You can tell by the scoreboard alone that the advantage, obviously, for that is going to go to the red side, whereas the CS is going to go to the blue side, and that's why they're pretty much give and take into this one. Plus, you got a couple plates from Herald top lane. Beyond that, it's all pretty much just kills, and we're unpaused.
Oh yeah, we had an update. It was an IRL emergency. Actually, wait, can we take a quick pause and sync up our times? Because the game will lag out on me.
Uh-oh.
Can you do like 13 minutes?
At 13 on the dot.
Actually get a TP.
Okay.
I'm gonna still pause at 13. I'm sure that's not nice for me.
I'll pause at 13.
You just count down for us, Reed, and we'll hit play. Thanks for that. Sorry, the connections are all really bad, obviously, because of this whole global emergency thing. But y'all don't need to be reminded that internet connections are suffering.
Internet.com is not working. So they're pinging out the teleport that we did just see before that pause. So...
yeah, and it was a smart one. It does disengage the fight, and I mean, with that pause being on your own side, you definitely feel a little hesitant to kind of make those type of plays. Although I will tell you, at the top level, the best teams, they are ruthless after a pause because there's nothing that you can do to stop them. They will like literally talk about engages in the comms to figure out how they're gonna best play after it and mess you up. No chivalry.
Yep, the teleport on the other side coming back now, and obviously setting up around the bot side here. Dragon's not up for a while, so they don't have to worry about that. They're just Nunu clearing out his camp. Fiora is in complete control of this top lane, though, and continuing to push us down. Like I said, she had picked up her executioners there about 12 minutes.
And that executioners is going to allow her not just to play into the Soraka, but into everybody else, actually.
Yeah.
It's least important for her lane. That's the best way to put it. So honestly, Smiley hit you with the Q, you're probably not going to reduction.
Right. And she's going to pick up some lifesteal of her own here. Jarvan creeping in there in the bot lane. Riftchild spawning, pinging that one out, making sure that they don't give that up again. But Fiora is very pushed up here. Has someone knocking on the back door. There's the
it's going to be the 0-3 to make the play in and be a Q over the wall. Yeah, it's going to be a very easy disengage for MKMK.
In and out. Not even worried about it.
Yeah, his team does have to rotate up and get a little bit of pressure on the mid lane, but it's pretty negligible in the grand scheme of things. Actually, they rotate right over to the Herald, so they're looking to make a play here. And now this is smart play from AltForOp. They're actually looking to get objectives, and this has been what kept them in the game. Again, there's only a 300 gold difference right now. And look, they're none the wiser. Big wave in the top side, nobody's there to clear, and Soraka's just kind of pacing back and forth like they might come sneak up on her at any moment.
And they even pinged it. I mean, the sense that they were aware that
they're
it was
cognizant.
Yeah. So like they knew that it was going to be coming out. And then as soon as Vladimir rotates up, he comes right back down to mid lane, almost gets like caught right in between all three of Jarvan, Orianna, and Fiora. But then they just decide to let him go because they're just going to go straight to Herald and take that without any sort of contestation from the red side. And by being able to get that, it's just a really smart play all around the board. And then Fiora's able to catch that huge wave, and now she's up 50 CS and counting.
And we'll remember last game, I mean, there was only one Herald taken, and I don't even know if they actually got it in hindsight. I think it might have been dropped and not used or never even taken in the first place. But this game, they've actually ramped up the speed again. They're playing a lot faster. They're taking Heralds. They're going to siege down towers. It's the reason why items are getting taken at the usual breakpoints, why everyone right now has one item, except for the Twitch. He's suffering. But, I mean, he does have gold for it, so he's not suffering that much.
Yeah. Ooh, there's the engage.
Yeah, he's going to use the ultimate, but that wind wall is going to disengage most of it. The final nail in the coffin, obviously, the Taric ultimate, and I actually think that being down is a major win for the side of AltForOp.
And I think it's a bigger win because of the timing of it. There's 45 seconds here till drag, and now you have that ult down and Twitch ult. Twitch ult's probably going to be coming up right around the time Dragon is as well, but Taric ult is not going to be there for that fight. And with Herald mid, they have to answer this one, and so far, AltForOp is doing very well on controlling objectives and controlling the map.
And that control is what's giving them, I mean, it's a 2-turret advantage. Now, the
Cataclysm.
Yeah, the Cataclysm is going to be a
and
real
the
problem
Shockwave.
for 0-3, though. Yeah, the Shockwave only connects onto him. And Jarvan's going to go down to the Shaw 10-17. Tiffany's looking to make a play. I still think this red buff, it's only going to take one auto. Yeah, the slow comes in, but the movement speed burst from the W on Orianna does counteract it. And now the eyes should be on the Dragon for the side of Basbois, but I'm actually not sure if they're going to make that play right now.
I think it's good timing to do so. Well, Twitch backed, I guess. But between Nunu and Taric, you're able to tank enough that you're not really worried about it. But with Jarvan going down, everyone now making the rotations over the Twitch is going to be there next. But Yasuo and Orianna, I mean, Orianna's half health and a quarter mana. Like, they can't contest this. They have to get this.
Yeah, and they do seem to make the right decision here, at least.
It's just unlucky that they had advantage. They were in a position that they could have easily taken the Dragon, and then just a little bit of an overcommit in the mid lane. And Jarvan goes down, they have to give that up.
Yeah, now in the top side, we actually do see Smiley holding this tier 2 pretty valiantly. Given how fast the tier 1 went down. Obviously.
Right. Fiora's doing well to at least keep it pushed. And then just going into the jungle, making sure that she is safe. You see the pings coming out. Soraka obviously a little worried about that Fiora roaming out there, but a really good vision coverage across the board on that red side jungle, so that Fiora feels pretty safe as to where she's at. Uh-oh, he's in trouble.
Yeah, they've got him picked out, and Jarvan goes for the flag and drag. That's going to knock up the Twitch, and Derek Shepard is kiting like a god right now, though. He has the Ignite on him, and it feels like he's not even got pain. The Cataclysm comes down.
Got it.
So much damage from the Twitch. That said, it's now Yasuo's time. As Kill Secure should be looking to actually get something out of this. I really think this Yasuo has underperformed, though. For how much priority has been given around this team. I mean, the whole draft centers around him, and he doesn't even have a kill yet.
He's got an Executioners now. Fiora just teleported from mid lane to that ward that was right there around the river.
I'm sure that must have been a mistake.
And that's just not... I think she was there trying to help, but, you know, with the teleport changes, you can't stop that anymore. So once you start channeling, it's committed. You're not going to get out of it. But yeah, a little bit of a misstep on the likes of Fiora. She's just going to have to go back now down with that teleport. But the teleport changes coming through, no, so it does scale with cooldown timing, so it's not as high of a cooldown.
Hey, the Cataclysm comes down.
Got it, flat rate.
So much damage from the Twitch. That said, it's now Yasuo's time. As kills secure should be looking to actually get something out of this.
Another Executioners on Jarvan too, so they're starting. They're building it all. Got it. I was wrong.
So much damage from the Twitch. That said, it's now Yasuo's time. As kills secure should be looking to actually get something out of this. I really think the Cataclysm comes down.
Got it.
So much damage from the Pain. The Cataclysm comes down.
Got it.
So much damage from the Twitch. That said, it's now Yasuo's time. As kills secure should be looking to actually get something out of this. I really think the Cataclysm comes down.
Got it.
So much damage from the Twitch. That said, it's now Yasuo's time. As kills secure should be looking to actually get something out of this. I really think the Cataclysm comes down.
Got it.
So much damage from the Twitch. That said, it's now Yasuo's time. As kills secure should be looking to actually get something out of this. I really think the Cataclysm comes down.
Got it. Ping's coming out.
So much damage from the Twitch. That said, it's now Yasuo's time. As kills secure should be looking to actually get something out of this. I really think the Cataclysm comes down. So much damage from the Twitch. That said, it's now Yasuo's time. As kills secure should be looking to actually get something out of this. I really think the Cataclysm comes down.
Got it.
So much damage
to go grab the wave, and because the wave isn't there, that actually is going to save the turret for AltForOp. And look at Fiora on the top side. She's using these, I mean, not so much new, but kind of recent changes to Fiora, which means she can crit turrets, she can Q turrets, and that's actually what allows her to take the turret in this instance.
And eventually, that's going to be something they're going to have to answer. They get tier 2 taken top. They're going to lose tier 2 mid.
I think he can get away. He did get a good dash there, but so much damage on the Nunu. Even when he gets knocked up and beaten around here, he barely looks like he takes a scratch. It's only in an effort to take the bot turret. So standing gold is something that's kind of important to talk about in this game because there's an 8 kill differential on the side right now of Basbois. In AltForOp 4, sorry, does still have a 2,000 gold lead. What that means is once Basbois are able to rally and take all 4 turrets that are still standing, that they haven't gotten the gold for yet, they're not just gonna even the gold, they're gonna take the lead.
Yeah, that is certainly standing gold they have still there. I don't know how I feel about a trade for a tier 1 bot versus 2 tier 2 towers, mid and top. And Fiora still continuing this one. Fiora now with lifesteal as well as the Coalfields Warhammer. She's going to be able to heal up any damage that's done to her and mitigate all of the damage coming out and healing from the likes of Vladimir and Soraka both. But it's just, Fiora's going to be something they have to answer yet. And Vladimir has not been in the sideline. They just left Soraka to it, and that's not where Soraka needs to be.
No, the answer is 100% that Vladimir should be entering the Fiora by now. He has the damage to 1v1 her reliably, and she doesn't really have the answer to him. The issue is the more that you give her time to build items, it doesn't get easier for Vladimir to fight her. It gets easier for her to fight Vladimir. Here we go, though. It's looking like this might be a 5-man fight at the Drake. Tell me, what does the vision speak to you? Because to me, it speaks pain.
So far, I mean, I like the fact that the Orianna ball control is just pretty much phasing all of them out of this. They're not getting in this at all, and that's exactly, I mean, just by that alone, they're able to push back and start dragging, and it's free, just because of Orianna being there, which is a lot of respect, and I don't know if it's deserving of that much respect, but they're at least smart about it to not give anything up, but other than a Drake.
That makes sense. The Drake going over is going to be a little bit of a big deal, but it's not so bad until you end up on Soul Point, which will be coming up with the next one. And again, we will probably be seeing Soul Point by 30 minutes, which means this game is actually kind of on track when we talk about pace.
Yeah, we'll see which direction it goes. They are going to get mid, so that's some of the gold that's starting to go down. Now,
yeah, and it only gets worse. right?
Yeah.
Because like AltForOp only has the standing golden turrets. They do not have kills. It's the same story as last game. And I mean, these teams can win, they can succeed, but at some point you have to start winning.
They finally answer. Vladimir finally is the one that does go top to get to the Fiora.
Are they stream sniping?
Maybe. I don't know. This Orianna is way too far forward.
Yeah, she is so far out of position. Spending too much time listening to our wise words to go send Vladimir up to the top lane and not enough time watching herself.
Here's the Morello, though.
Yeah, the Morello does get built, and that means that there's now 4 healing reduction items. This means on everybody.
Oh, no.
As Vladimir gets dove in the top lane 2v1, Jarvan goes down super low and actually gets killed by Derek Shepard off the screen.
There it is.
It's a big Q from 03, but there is just no health on the man. And everyone else sitting at full, he had no chance in that engagement. As it actually looks like AltForOp does answer back, but they just lose so much again. Is it really worth it?
Yeah, and I really don't even know if Rakan's presence was necessary. Obviously, ult down with the Ignite as well to stop even more healing. But beyond that, I'm pretty sure Fiora probably could have won that where she was. The damage that she does, the healing she has. She has a full up Death's Dance now as well. So she is very capable of fighting this. And it's going to take at least a couple to be able to answer Fiora as she just continues to get bigger. And now with the kill under her belt too, is continuing this onslaught in the top lane.
But you know what? I can at least understand the hesitation from Rakan to let her do it alone.
Right.
Right, that's your carry in your mind. You really don't want her to go, even though the truth is the Yasuo is your carry, and you've already kind of let him go. We won't harp on that, right?
Right. I mean, he's got CS. He's not feeding particularly. He does have a bounty, so I mean, as soon as he gets a couple kills to his name, he'll get a full up item. He already has the BF and the cloak, so he's still building to more and more crit and AD. So he'll be all right. He just needs a couple kills.
And I mean, I'll be hoping that he picks them up because the Yasuo is kind of what this composition is waiting for to pop off.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're playing TFT and you just never got the items you needed for your carry, so they're just chilling.
Orianna again getting chased out of mid lane here. They're sieging up around this tier 2.
And the Switch goes invisible right now. He looks like he might be looking to get a little slippery. Nunu Snowball does get big. Unfortunately, doesn't connect onto anybody. And all the stuns are kind of wasted right there.
Yeah.
It's very interesting how hard they're fishing for a pick.
I mean, Jarvan was in a position that he could have been caught out, but they just were a couple seconds slow on their rotation down there to get him. And he was able to get out of that one. And now, once again, going straight back to tier 2. And Yasuo a little far forward. There's a shockwave.
Yasuo gets the 2-man ultimate on the shockwave, and that's going to be enough to get the Cataclysm back in, but they're all invulnerable. The Terra counter is innumerable. And the Nunu ultimate is going to deal mass amounts of damage. This teleport is a naught. As here comes Fiora with the Vladimir ultimate on top of her at that. My god. It looked like it was the perfect fight, but again, the Terra seems like the perfect counter pick for this game.
And I think like they did well in everything right there to get where they needed to be. I think Yasuo's damage even went through. Granted, he didn't even have an IE. He just finished his IE. But after that, Starcall comes in, the healing's coming through, and there's nothing else they can do about that. Fiora's teleport is too little too late, and she's at half health from Vladimir as well. And she's at least around for Baron, but they're not going to be able to take this.
No, I really don't think they have a chance, and that's why the Baron's going to go over and with him. I think Basbois honestly pretty firmly solidifies their chance to go win this game. There's not a whole lot of options for AltForOp to kind of come back at this point, and it might just be too little too late for Yasuo, even though he has the 100% crit chance in the IE right now. Because by all accounts, he should be online.
Yeah, now he should. He did not have the IE going into that fight, and I think that's where, if they're able to get another engagement like that with the Shockwave, Cataclysm, and the Last Whisper, I mean, they are absolutely online, but they just have to wait for the items to come through, and unfortunate that it took 28 minutes before Yasuo gets the items that he wants. It's not the ideal scenario, but with Dragon up here, this is the next area that they're going to be focusing on with Vladimir and Fiora top. Fiora doesn't have teleport anymore either, and Vladimir does.
We'll see if that ends up making a difference here. Sometimes it does, sometimes it just unfortunately does not. As we do see, Orianna is going to be the target here of the Nunu aggression once again. Nunu does turn his attention back onto the team. He's going to be able to get the root there on Jarvan. Jarvan needs so much damage. strange auto attack hit, and it's actually the switch.
Oh,
The Yasuo, though, Yasuo's looking to make the engage
Star
happen.
Call.
Fiora down on top of him, and they're able to pick out the
there's
switch.
Fiora.
It costs the Yasuo life, though. The Star Call does come down, but it's going to be Rakan trying to fight them all off for 1v4. Rakan is doomed to go down, and Fiora is just trying to solo out this rock because she needs to desperately take out the healing before she can fight, but unfortunately it's 4 members, and even though the carry is dead, it's just not possible.
Good parry.
Yeah, it's an incredible parry, and it's actually going to be what keeps the dreams alive right now, as all the members from Bad Boys, at least the ones alive, go over towards the mountain break. Oh, I lied, it's Vladimir! He's in for a penny, in for the pound. And I mean, he had a chance to pick out Orianna there. It was very close, but you could feel he just needed a little bit more damage.
Yeah. I like the fact that he is still using this Baron buff to keep the pressure on while the rest of the team is doing Dragon. That's just the smart play. Keep that gold advantage and keep the pressure while you're taking care of the objectives. It's a smart play from them, and now 18-4 with about a 600 gold lead here, which is probably only going to go up as soon as they continue on with this Baron buff here. But Twitch losing that one, and this is an interesting game state that we're in, but they just don't have the kills on the blue side to be able to answer back.
The issue for me is that it feels so hopeless for AltForOp or AltForOp, and I mean, I honestly like them. I think that they're a fun team to watch at this point. I think they've improved even from game 1 to game 2, but it just feels so hopeless with the Jarvan down, you know, 0-4, getting all his items, unable to really capitalize. The Orianna constantly playing frontline position. I mean, look at the damage that she takes. It's just so punishing, and this just doesn't seem to stop. The only shining light for this team right now is the Fiora, and I mean, it's the same story as last game, which just leaves that extra air of doubt for you. As you watch the snowball just get channeled towards them once again, it's going to secure this tier 2 tower, and with it, I believe the gold lead, officially goes right back over into the favor of the Bad Boys. Vladimir fighting with Fiora, I'm not sure, I think it's his ultimate, he did. Doesn't really heal from it either. Oh, he heals the ball.
Yeah, they don't even have a lot more. I mean, they didn't get as much out of that gold from the Baron as they would have liked, probably. But they did get at least the tower. They have this pressure on, and it's amazing that just the pressure alone
Look at that flash! Oh my god!
The pressure alone of the snowball pushes everyone off this tower. And then stealth under tower, you're going to see him. But he still gets the kill. Because everyone else walks away.
Fiora in the top side right now. He's about to solo out the Vladimir. Yeah, Star Call was just not enough to save the man's life. Obviously, the Executioner calling is working wonders for the Fiora up there.
And this is exactly the game.
Oh wait, I mean, this is AltForOp. This is their chance. No, you have to stop the backs. You have to stop the backs here.
Okay, so
we see them up there. I don't know if we get the inhibitor turret. Really, you want Jarvan to throw down one flag onto them to make sure she gets it, but it looks like Fiora are just so good at taking objectives. She will end up taking the inhibitor, takes the tower, takes the Vladimir, and with it, hope for her team to win this game.
Yeah, they're keeping this one in this. I mean, mid inhib down for them, the top inhib on the other side. So that's at least a worthwhile trade that they're not really able to hold their base because of the fact that just the Twitch is so strong. And one snowball just pushes everyone back, and they all just kind of panic. Baron spawning in just over a minute. And
what is that aura on Soraka? I have no idea what that is. It doesn't show up on the buff bar. Do you see the aura?
No.
Okay, must be a visual bug. On my screen, she has like a red aura circling around her feet as she walks, which is not part of the default skin. And it's not an aura I can remember or recall.
Yeah, I see it.
It's not Summoner Airy.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry to kind of derail that. I guess it just actually went away, too.
Interesting.
Even stranger.
Maybe she had she took a potion? No, because she wouldn't take the red one for any reason.
At the bottom, though. And it would have shown up on her buff bar. There was nothing.
You're right. It would have.
Back to the game. That was just a really peculiar, kind of strange moment, almost like seeing a ghost. If you do watch enough League of Legends. Yeah, Kill Secure gets stunned up under his own tower, but turret shots are going to be enough to keep him protected in that one.
Twitch ult coming out again. And the snowball. There's all he does. Nunu just pushes snowball and just walks it down, and it opens up the tower for free.
No, it's exactly right, and it's because his team is far enough ahead that that's an option. The issue is that they are not far enough ahead to outpace this Fiora. Look at what she's doing to these towers.
Vladimir is so afraid of dying to her that he's not even taking the fight to her or to the wave, and instead she's just whacking away at that turret.
She's doing exactly what 4 people are doing on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of I would call it the natural progression of things, as this always works like this, right? If 5 members shove and 1 member goes back to stop 5, you always lose.
That was a very fast Nunu.
She's caught. I think oh no, she didn't use her parry properly, but again, Fiora is the official tank killer of the League of Legends Boom Squad. And healing up right now, looks like she's going to try to make it work, but she's actually trying to jump out right now, does get slowed by the Twitch. That's going to pretty much put a damper on all her plans.
100%.
And yeah, the root really secures the fate.
On the other side, though. Hello.
Yeah, you're right. They are taking this Baron, and this team is actively playing for the objectives. This is, again, if we were in this state last time, nowhere near this type of pace was the game being played at. Now, are they on the Dragon? Don't know, but that's a Baron gone over and secured by the side of AltForOp.
You got to start backing now.
Yeah, the Yasuo does dive in, which is a massive mistake, and it's actually going to lead to him getting caught out. You should have just stuck the back and hoped that your teammates get out. That's not on you. Fortunately, 3 members will have the Baron, but the Dragon and Soul Point goes over to the side of Bad Boys.
The problem with it is the fact that they don't have the Baron on Fiora, and that's really where you want that. I mean, Fiora did well to take the entire team so that they are able to secure Baron, but Fiora really would like to have that.
No, she would not just like to have that. It's almost paramount to the success of a Baron that if Fiora has it on their team. Because the other 4, I'm sorry, but statistically, factually, and figuratively, they're
not sieging. Yeah, they're not sieging anything. Like, they don't have the pressure to get anywhere. I mean, they're not going to push up mid lane anytime soon until top starts to naturally push by itself, until Fiora is finally able to answer bottom. It's very, very obvious what their team needs to do right now. Send Fiora bottom and just hold mid as best as you can.
And I mean, it feels bad though, because the reason that that's the strategy is that genuinely they are not playing the game, right? We've seen Jarvan kind of actively do some things and Orianna hit some shockwaves, but the Yasuo and Rakan have done little to nothing but press R in this game. And it's really just reflecting in their stats. It's reflecting in the fact that as this game reaches any stage, they're constantly doing nothing but defending and reacting, while Fiora takes the load of the work. And I mean, that's just not how the competition actually is supposed to run. Fiora's supposed to do a lot, but with some team help, this game would be over right now.
Yeah, she has 17,000 gold on this team, and the next closest is 12. Like, it's a huge gold disparity on her team that she's really looking for anything to kind of capitalize on. She just doesn't have any of that support, any of that follow-up. They do have this Baron that's walking down mid here. I'm concerned of where it's going to go. You see Nunu coming in on the snowball on the side.
Yeah, this is going to probably be the team wipe that has been so dreaded. Here comes the ultimate from the Taric, and that's going to keep everybody alive through all the CC. That burn down is going to happen no matter what. The flash forward is disingenuous, and Yasuo forced to use flash and heal to get out of there. He has the Orianna ball on him, and those resistances nonetheless helped him. Here's Twitch, though. He's going sneaky onto the Jarvan, looking to make it more than just a 1 pick. Oh, actually, he goes for the inhibitor, and that makes a lot of sense. You want that inhibitor down permanently. Taric, use Q. Get empowered auto attacks, buddy.
Smart enough to get that at least.
They get it anyway. Yeah, the 5 auto attacks onto the Jarvan definitely feel bad, and that's going to be the whole game plan for Derek Shepard here on Twitch, is just stack up the poison and press E.
Yeah, I mean, and it's working. They obviously crit champions in favor of Derek Shepard. We saw what he did on Sivir in Game 1. Now he's got this crit built up here in Game 2, and he is doing some work in control of virtually what is the entire game for AltForOp, but everything else they're just banking on Fiora. And in the middle of that team fight, Fiora was pushing bot lane side split, but then Vladimir actually dragged her into the jungle, like was able to distract her enough to get off of the side lane and start to halfway commit to the mid fight, which was really good on the part of Vladimir, so that Fiora just could not continue that press in the bot.
Oh, we do see another snowball. This time they do not disengage. By Taric, going to be able to hit the stun, but actually Orianna flashes out. That's going to keep her alive. Nunu tanks up the turret and does not show many signs of damage.
And see, now you know they're at a problem, because Fiora has to get away from her commitment and have a split push and teleport back to the team.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a pressured moment, but the fact that they didn't lose Baron, the fact that they still haven't lost Dragon Soul, means that this is not the most pressure they're gonna feel all game.
So if you're trying to enter mid, and I'm okay with this, just clearing those mid waves, because she has the capability to get those supers out. Jarvan just sitting here on the side. He is completely spotted by this ward. Waiting for cooldowns to come back. Rakan's the only ult that's left here to come back. They, at this point now, have to hope Yasuo gets a better target, because last time all he did was ult Nunu. That was it. That's all he got the ult off on. And this Taric ult is just stopping everything else that's happening. Taric's pressing R has been the
Taric's
MVP
deathless
so far.
too. Let's not forget.
Right. Yeah.
Like, he's actively playing like a pretty big god out here on the champion.
Yeah, having a huge impact so far on their survivability. That's why they only have 5 kills on the blue side. Trying to get this. They're starting the back timers here, though.
Oh wait, that's gonna be Vladimir
Ooh,
actually getting
good
kicked out.
stop.
And we did see there was a visual bug there with Fiora's Vitals, so she hit it and then thought she could hit it again. That definitely messed up MKMK a little bit there. Saw a little bit of hesitation in the play, but that's gonna be 2 caught in, and it's gonna be a forced ultimate.
There it is.
But he doesn't actually get the switch. They kill him before it comes in. That's the first time this game that's happened. It's a W coming out from Rakan that's gonna hold the Taric in place and a flag and drag from the Jarvan to ensure he does not go anywhere. But back
On the back.
tip, yeah, 100% up here. There is no hope for the Nunu. There is no salvation. There is no ultimate channel, which can
There we
make
go.
a return play. And with all of that, AltForOp probably wants to siege the mid, probably wants to end the game, but unfortunately does not have the wave or the advantage to do it. That is the benefit of Derek and Shepard going to that mid inhibitor and taking it now. Why are they playing up so far? Wouldn't you reckon they want to take this dragon? Oh wait, no, they're actually splitting.
Top
They're playing
inhib.
properly.
Yep.
They're playing properly. I didn't expect it. I didn't anticipate it. Fiora's up there wreaking havoc. They are playing the game to the best of their ability. Oh my god, Fiora's going to kill 0-3.
And the heal, too. That's going to give time for the Vital to come back. And another Yasuo assist, at least. Yasuo is getting in on this, and they're finally getting some gold down. Inhibitor down. Time to reset with Baron and Dragon both up. They have to at least ward Baron on the way out here, but they do need to reset because there's gold in their pockets.
I'm straight shocked. I can't believe they actually split the map properly and got not just 1, but 2 things off of a winning fight. That's something we haven't seen this team doing, at least from the first game. But in the second game, it's almost
This
like
is
someone else
brave.
has stepped in to shot call for them.
This is very
It's
brave.
not brave, it's calculated, okay? With the inhibitor down, with their inhibitor respawning, they essentially have the 6-man and the advantage to go for this. They have the damage and they have the respawn timers. With the vision control, it's why they get it without even a whiff of a problem. And that's why Basbois are now in a position where 23-9, they might lose this game.
They were in a position where they were starting to rotate over to Baron, which is exactly what the play should have been. They should have gone straight there because they recognized that that would be happening. That's the next play. But with, I mean, both Yasuo and Fiora had 3,000 gold in their pockets before that Baron started happening. And you got a full reset team on the red side that's coming at you. Nunu was snowballing down mid lane, and had they adjusted trajectory all to go straight to Baron, I think that's a fight that I wouldn't take. But huge in the sense they get top inhib, they get another pick, they get Dragon to stop 4th Dragon on that side, and they get Baron. They're just doing everything right now. They just have to be able to continue this stack of success.
Now this game is going to come down to the wire. Remember, this does decide who ends up first place in Division 5, so this is some of the best action you're actually going to see out of teams in this ELO. And it's showing as, I mean, I guess a team can come back from a 23-9 game, and it still shows they're at least in this ELO if a team can lose, and that could be advantage. That said, 3 dragons apiece now. One team will walk away with the soul, but maybe the Nexus will fall beforehand as 4 members group up in the mid, Fiora in the bot. This is the proper 1-4. This is what you want. The waves are crashing at the same time. This is the perfect gameplay, the perfect use of the Baron. You only get one chance at this, because you know they're not going to sink those waves.
They gotta stop that Twitch, though.
Yeah, they do get the stop, though. The charm comes in. The ultimate from Taric will keep him alive, but the disengage saves the rest of the team. Although Twitch, now gets a chance to free fire. This is what that Taric ultimate is. Every time the good shockwave is going to hold them all in place. It's too little too late for Slar 10-17.
And if I'm Fiora at this point, you just commit to where you are on that bot side.
Yeah, and she should have, and instead she played forward. That is obviously the point of the 1-3-1 is to try to get something regardless, or sorry, the 1-4 in this case. And instead, all they do is they lose their jungler, and with this advantage, it actually looks like the middle inhibitor might suffer once again. Vladimir, though, relegated to shoving out super minions in the top means there's no advantage.
And this is a point, they're at least able to stop this inhibitor push. This is really crucial for them. Fiora's trying to come in on the flank, a little slow on that, honestly. Fiora could have been there a long time ago. They could have got a pick on a Soraka, but at least able to save the inhibitor here with top lane pushing and Vladimir forced to answer. So all things considered, they could have got that inhib tower bot lane, but not losing inhib mid is good enough for now.
Yeah, oh wait, they're looking to catch out the Fiora. They actually got her spotted here. She's going into the queue, but they have a plan and they're stunning her up. She got the ultimate down onto the Twitch. Hug a wall, my boy, hug a wall. He flashes away though. He had a plan. It was the ruse, and with the ruse, they get the shutdown goal, the 60-minute death timer, and we're gonna see. You think they can end the game? I'm doubtful, but I would love to see it.
I don't know if they're able to end here. Obviously, well, if they get another
they can get more kills. Yeah, Dreadpool looking to go down. He's rooted. That's a guaranteed kill for the Twitch. As Tiffany actually picks it up. The Slag and Drag is going to land onto the Soraka and the Twitch equally. The Cataclysm onto the Vladimirs just to get more room from everybody else in a flag, but no Drag will lead an end to the Jarvan, as that's now 3 numbers down. And it looks like Bad Boys are charging up the mid lane. They have the end in sight. And I mean, Tarek has the ultimate. They can make this happen. Please, please, please play for it all.
And they've got enough healing on both sides. Nunu, once again with the snowball, he's enough to push teams
They've
back.
got everything. All they have to do is have the gusto to make it work. We'll see how this one plays out.
Which won't have ult for the towers. Windwall up. He does have GA and the ball on him, so he's able to get in. And that's going to be at least a Last Whisper and a Shockwave bolt with both towers down.
Far up, makes the last ditch out. While the towers are gone,
that's it.
It was all played poorly there by Celtic. Game goes over to Bad Boys. Orianna dances in the fountain, and that's going to be first in SRG Division 5. Congratulations to Bad Boys in convincing fashion taking this one.
Yeah, and a really good game. I mean, that's just well played on both sides, where they almost were able to get themselves into a position that was like, they could take this game. No, they could take this game. No red side, no blue side, no red side. And it just was so back and forth the whole time. And what ultimately came down to, I mean, they were doing so well with the Tarek ultimates to pretty much mitigate all of the damage coming from both Orianna and Yasuo. Finally, at the end of it, there was one Yasuo ultimate that did not go through right there around that mid inhibitor tower on the red side. There was one ultimate from Tarek that saved all of the damage from Yasuo's ult when Yasuo's finally doing damage with his ult. And after that, they just clean sweep everybody because Yasuo doesn't do damage. He doesn't do anything anymore. He's in the middle of your team, and he's just dead.
Yeah, and so frequently the Tarek ultimate was the story of a for them, whether it be the Yasuo or the Orianna wave that was connecting and just not able to do anything. Now, though, we do have some fun stats. I'm going to ask you, who do you think dealt the most damage in that game?
It would have to be
the champions. Yeah, Twitch does hold the record. 47,000 damage. Next highest Fiora at 37,000. She was a close contender. Now, the other one here is, I do have some shame stats I like to hand out. This game, there's 2 recipients of a shame award. Who do you think not buy a control ward? You only
no control wards. Yasuo.
That would actually be incorrect. Yasuo did find a way to buy 1 control ward in that game, the 3rd lowest. The 2 people were the 2 top laners, actually, the Soraka and the Fiora.
That's actually really surprising.
Single control ward that game. And yeah, I mean, it's not too surprising in the Fiora's case. The exact same thing happened on the Nasus last game. So that's 2 shame marks for you, buddy.
Yikes.
But in the Soraka's case, very, very, very surprising, actually.
And see, I'm on the opposite script. I believe that Soraka was under tower the whole time in top lane. Like, as a top laner myself, like, I always buy pink wards because I always want to play on one side or the other where I have an extra set vision that I don't have to worry about at all. And if you're Fiora, who's pushed up under tier 2 tower the entire time, and it's just pushing this Soraka down the lane the entire time, I'm going to want vision to make sure that I'm safe or know who's coming for me if it's more than 1 or 2 other players. But the fact that just not buying any at all, that's actually really surprising for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with that analysis. Now, I think that's all that we've got for you folks here tonight. I hope you enjoyed the stats. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Both games lasted about a combined hour and 40 minutes for only 2. So you know that this was definitely some long League of Legends, even if you want to question the quality of it all. But at the end of the day, we know who our number 1 and our number 2 teams are going into playoffs. It's going to be the number 1 seeded Bad Boys and the number 2 seed, blanking on their name now. AltForOp. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, AltForOp. Yeah, both of them are going to have great runs, I imagine, through the playoffs. And I'm actually really excited to see if AltForOp can continue this kind of strategy where they get so much gold in the early game. Maybe they do something with it.
Yeah, hoping that they're able to, do a little bit better. I mean, their objective control is insane. They're doing very well with that. They just have to kind of work around making sure that their carries get the kills.
Yeah. But until next time, on behalf of SRG, we're going to be signing off, and thank you for joining us here. Remember, it's the last week before playoffs, so you want to tune in every day this week to catch and check out which teams are going to be competing in the 8-man playoffs across all 5 divisions. Have a great night.
Okay, goodbye.
Wanna join me? Come and play, but I might shoot you in your face. Bombs and bullets will do the trick. What we need here is a little bit of panic. Do you ever wanna catch me? Right now I'm feeling ignored. So can you try a little harder? I'm really getting bored. Come on, shoot faster, just a little bit of energy. I wanna try something fun right now. I guess some people call it die. Let's blow this into ashes and see what Papa thinks. It's such pathetic neatness, but not for long 'cause you'll get jinxed. So much better, so much fun. Let's start from scratch and blow up the sun. Come on, shoot faster, just a little bit of energy. I wanna try something fun right now. I guess some people call it die. Let's blow this into ashes and see what Papa thinks. It's such pathetic neatness, but not for long 'cause you'll get jinxed.
Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe.